Giddy up, 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 giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need. Tell them giddy up, call her whoop, cause she poppin'. D4L, that's no option. She my one and only lover. So much fun, like I'm Thugger. Giddy up, fill my cup, cheddar cheese, Velveeta, put in work, double up. And I can't waste none of my time, so stop clogging on my line. Giddy up, 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 giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need. Tell them giddy up. Rubber band, 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 man. Band man like the cannon. I like dancing. See you panic, see you scrambling. Giddy up, keep it tough. Put in work, on the hush. What's the word? Calling bluffs. And I can't waste none of my time, so stop clogging on my line. Giddy up, 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 giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need. Tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need. Tell them giddy up.
Every time when I look up for me, come on, look up for me. Every time when I look up for me, come on, look up for me. Every time when I look up for me, come on, look up for me. Every time when I look up for me, like you supply, all like tires. Looking so surprised, don't deny us. She telling me she want to be my lover, yeah. I love you when she want to be my lover, yeah. My little baby girl rise on me. My little baby girl ride on me. Maria, 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 ah. Every time you're looking out for me, every time you're looking out for me. Love you, ah, yeah, oh.
Everything go from Maria, yeah, yeah. Sensibility, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty girl like a Maria, Maria.
Every time when I look up for me, come on, look up for me. Every time when I look up for me, come on, look up for me. Every time when I look up for me, come on, look up for me. Every time when I look up for me.
She no island girl, she from Kilimanjaro, Kiliman, oh. No, she no island girl, she from Kilimanjaro. From Kilimanjaro.
My little baby girl rise on me. My little baby girl ride on me. Maria, 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 ah. Every time you're looking out for me, every time you're looking out for me. Love you, ah, yeah, uh-huh.
Everything go from Maria, yeah. Sensibility, ah, yeah, yeah. Pretty girl like a Maria, Maria. More time with me, do you want to be my wife, baby? I just want you in my life, baby. I like you, I like you, boy.
Maria,
Everything go from Maria. Sensibility, yeah. Pretty girl like you, Maria. Every time we meet every time be like, oh, Maria.
Every time when I look up for me, every time when I look up for me, every time when I look up for me, every time when I look up for me.
Det var första gången vi möttes. Våra blickar bara möttes. Kommer du ihåg det igen? Kommer du ihåg det igen? Du vill ha icy little fingers. Då du vet det chalas. All in, ingen broms, schackmatt på din vänster hand. Du är så viktig baby. Ja, du är allians. Du är försiktig baby. Men du gav mig en chans. Det är 50-50 baby. Men det är balans. Jag växlar upp med dig baby. Ingen annan. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som det. Baby. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som det. Du är mitt liv baby. Aldrig titta på någon annan. Varför du med annan? Kom var med mig baby. Aldrig lita på någon annan. Finns ingen annan jag vill ha min chakarinna. Mosa och safe, ingen sinna. Jag kommer alltid ride with you. 100 gubbar klart jag die for you. Du är så viktig baby. Ja, du är allians. Du är försiktig baby. Men du gav mig en chans. Det är 50-50 baby. Men det är balans. Jag växlar upp med dig baby. Ingen annan. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som det. Du är mitt liv baby. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som det. Du är mitt liv baby. Visa mig vart du finns. Du kommer väl till min city? Nej, jag vet att det finns. Kom det är bra lives and all nights, yeah. Jag vet inte om min ni kör det. Skön social, smart good lady. Jag tvivlar det. Visa mig var du finns, yeah. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som det. Du är mitt liv baby. Det var fan
for you. Choose wisely. Is simping a mental illness? Simping is an urban term that has been described as a psychopathology or a thinking error in the context of minimization. Simping is dangerous because what it does, it minimizes the importance of the man at the deification or the positioning of the woman. The thing about simping is that simping does not have any standards. Now listen, I didn't come up with the term called simping, but I did come up with acronyms associated with the word called simping. And I came up with two types of simps. There is the unconscious simp, and then there is the conscious simp. The worst type of simp is the conscious simp because the conscious simp actually should know better. The conscious simp is qualified in two major categories. The conscious simp, what he does is that he sacrifices important masculine principles. That's the conscious simp. But a subset of that is suppressing important masculine principles as well. Because the conscious simp in his internal dialogue knows what he needs to do, but he chooses not to do it because he's been socialized to do to the contrary. The difference between the conscious simp and the unconscious simp is the unconscious simp is not aware of what he's doing. The unconscious simp will more or less be qualified in supplementing irrational male principles. And I say it male because when men, we are born males, but we become men through trial and error, hills and valleys, victories and failures. And so when you supplement irrational male principles, you become an unconscious simp. And what that does, it reduces your ability to leverage in the relationship because you defer power to her instead of having a relationship where it's balanced, where you get respect and she get respect as well. Sean James wrote a book or created a book called The Man Crisis. And we're going to look at this remastered classic where we look at the nuances of simping. And we're going to talk about simping from a psychological perspective, but also from an anecdotal perspective. So sit back and relax as we bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State, where the topography is serene, pristine, and verdant green. Whereas men, we don't agree on all things, but we come together as allies of a common cause only to dissipate once the crisis is over. And remember this, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. I'm going to break it down and give you the 2 steps or the 2 subsets or the frameworks of simping. And if you use this context or contextual framework of simping, please quote me or qualify me or more or less reference me as that's the right thing to do. Be well. All right, brethren, bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union. We're going to be talking about simping, but also we're going to talk about Frustrated 3 that's going to be coming out soon by Brother Al Grease. Chris Strongheart is in the house, one of the BMO brothers. And Chris Strongheart, many don't believe that the fat meat is greasy. Now listen, we've said in the past that many women don't believe that the fat meat is greasy, but unfortunately, Chris Strongheart, some of the men don't believe that the fat meat is greasy as well. Let's talk about why so many men, Chris, actually go abroad and actually get caught up in simping, and why simping more or less is a scarcity mindset instead of seeing women abroad through the spirit of abundance.
What's going on? What's going on? First of all, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, brother.
All right, man. Well, hey, we all know that right now simping is a side effect of the culture right now. I mean, there is I say it's a pandemic, man. It's getting bad out here in the streets. I mean, it's looking rough for the home team. I mean, we're doing our best. We're trying to talk the young brothers through it, man. But if they want to go out here getting caught up with the IG models and everything like that, you know, getting their money took from them, you know what I'm saying? We all know that, like I said, what they said, Brittany Renner, she got a $20 million contract now, so she good to go. So I mean, it's bad out here, man. Like we do what we can, bro. We do what we can.
Well, listen, it's a SIMP pandemic, and so what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about it because, you know, and brother, hopefully my man Eric Spence gonna come on. He's one of the lieutenants, or what I call the president of BMO. But I decided to do simping, the show on the unconscious simp, Because the unconscious simp, Chris Strongheart, does not know that he's a simp. The unconscious simp actually supplements irrational male patterns. And that more or less ties to what I call as a clinical therapist, something called narcissistic supply. And so, because so many men in America have low self-esteem, they don't know what their worth is. They tolerate that kind of behavior. Chris, I want you to talk about a time when you have been involved in simping and why men don't have to simp when they go abroad to great countries like Brazil or Colombia.
Well, I mean, in the States, it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to get caught up because, you're taught that you have to do certain things in order to get access to women, in order to enjoy a fruitful lifestyle with a young lady. I mean, you're taught that you have to do all these abundant and great things. Like you have to be Superman in order to, have a decent relationship, to be honest. But when you travel, it's different because the perspective of like how they look at you and how you're viewed is like you're already there. You know what I'm saying? You're already not a high value man, but they already look at you as like some type of value, basically. Like, I mean, because the thing is, when you travel, I mean, it's like you had to get there. You know what I mean? You had to make it some type of way. I mean, you got to be on something to be able to travel across the water. You know what I mean? You can't just be no regular dude really traveling like that. So if you're able to get over to a place overseas across the water and enjoy that type of lifestyle, I mean, usually you did something to get there. I mean, your money's right, you did something. I mean, you're on top of your game. So overseas is different. It's because the mentality is different. The we'll say the culture is different. All right, the perspective is different. So you're not looked at as less than, if you know what I'm saying. Because over here on our side of the water, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that dude, he average. Oh, he don't make enough. Oh, yada yada. So it's just one of them things where, like there's a lot of brothers saying right now that some brothers will say that they'll stay over here in the States and try to work it out and stuff like that. I mean, you can if you want, but like we say, going overseas is just kind of like if you can maintain that lifestyle, then you are definitely on one. You know what I mean? You're already at a place and position to where, you're getting access. So you don't have to do the same things that you would have to do over here because you're not looked at the same way. That's really the biggest thing.
Shout out to my man, Casual Chaos. And Casual Chaos says, here you need to satisfy extreme hypergamy or chaos. And he's very much correct. Listen, women are the same wherever you go, Chris Strongheart. Whether you go to Brazil, whether you go to Colombia, whether you go to Africa, women want provision, protection, security, and maintenance. Women are the same wherever you go. And Petway Boy is correct. Don't be a sucker for women all around the world. He's correct. Now listen, guys, while you listen to this content, please hit all buttons, hit all notification buttons, hit the like button. If you like what I'm doing, please donate to $ or cash out $7 Smalls. Please donate to $ cash out 7 Smalls. I'm going to drop the link as we continue to bring you quality content. Listen, many guys are going overseas. It's called the passport game, the passport bros. But one of the critical mistakes that men mess up with is that they become simps. And we're going to run a clip in a minute talking about Aaron Ferris. Aaron Ferris, Chris Strongheart, and I, and also my man, Deacon Eric Spencer. We were talking about why a lot of men get caught up in simping and why they more or less sabotage them themselves because they don't realize that they don't have to have a scarcity mindset. They can have an abundance mindset. So, Chris, when you first traveled abroad, did you get caught up in the simp game? And if you didn't, tell the audience why. You got to be real, Chris, because in clinical therapy you can't lie. So I'm a therapist. You got to tell the truth. So part of the is that you can't lie to the public. So I want you to tell the public, Chris, did you get caught up in simping when you traveled abroad to Brazil?
Let me tell you what. It wasn't so much that I got caught up in simping, but you definitely gonna have to check your red pill status. I mean, if you're gonna beat your chest and talk about how red pill you are and oh man this and that, you're gonna be tried a little bit. You gonna want to shell out a little bit of coin, you know what I'm saying, to do certain things, you know what I mean? Because like you're gonna go over there and experience something different. You're gonna be like, oh my God, because over here, you're kind of like taught that you're supposed to do so many things in order to entertain a young lady, but when you get overseas, it's already, you're kicked up in high gear because you're like, oh man, in order to keep her, I got to do this and got to do that. But realistically, you don't. but you can easily get caught up. My first trip, I started to slide a little bit as far as like I started to put expectations in a young lady that I was dealing with, and I had to like catch myself and be like, slow down, like it's not that type of time over here. Like, don't just come over here and just lose your head, like the brother said. I think his name was um Petway boy. I didn't catch his name, but like he said, you don't want to go overseas and start simping and lose your head and stuff like that. And shout out to Edward Anderson. He was the one who said that you don't want to go red pill for American women to go blue pill for girls overseas somewhere else. And he's exactly right. You know what I mean? You don't know that's not how you move. And I wouldn't tell anybody to move like that either. I wouldn't tell nobody to just forget everything that you was taught about everything that you learned. Because women are going to be women around the world. I mean, they have a game too. And like I heard, I forget who said it, but it's just like over here, the American women, they run in the blitz. They run the blitz defense. And down there, overseas, they playing zone. You know what I mean? But they still playing the same game. It's just that they got different strategies. And you just got to be aware of when, they're trying to take advantage of you. That's why I tell brothers who want to travel, yes, but your heart does need to be in the right place. Like I said, you need to be on your purpose, your game, and your passions need to be A1. You need to be focused before you start getting over there, because you'll get over there and get caught up. And then we'll start hearing about different situations, like we was hearing about stuff going down in the DR, how brothers going down in Colombia, eating it up. You know what I mean? They killing it down there, like, walking around the streets and in the clubs throwing money up. You know what I mean? Just messing up the game, just like completely killing the game overseas by acting a straight fool. Like, that's not the type of stuff that we advertise, and we definitely disassociate ourselves from those type of brothers who are muddy in the waters, so to speak, for brothers who are trying to have a good record when we travel. So that's
no doubt.
Tolerate that nonsense.
No doubt. Shout out to my man Teddy Doyle. Thank you, brother Teddy Doyle, for the super chat. Facts. Women around the world operate on the same frequency. Great show. Great topic and show, and thank you, brother. Thank you for that, for the super chat. And so, guys, if you like what I'm doing, please hit the link. The link for the Cash App as well. And this is going to be a power pack topic, because listen, if you're going to travel abroad, you have to recondition yourself to how women think abroad. Female psychology is female psychology wherever you go. And I did a show in the past, Chris Strongheart, to say that women only respect power and strength. But the sad thing is, American men have been treated so bad for so long, they think it's normal to treat women and trick off money and not stand in masculine frame. We got the president in the house tonight. We got my man Deacon Eric Spencer, the president of BMO. Deacon Eric Spencer, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, tell the brothers that are listening who you are, and tell them why it's so important not to sell when you go abroad, Eric.
Well, I'm the regular on the show. I am the one of the admins at the Black Man's Option, a Facebook group. And, going overseas is a different game. A lot of men, they go over there and they don't really understand the environment that they're in. They go by what they see on YouTube and they think they can take that mentality with them over there, and it works. And a lot of times it doesn't. It backfires on them. And they put themselves in those positions. Some of them they can't get out of, because they think that America is the end all be all, and that the way that we do things in America is the correct way, when in actuality it's reverse. Because when you go overseas, they still respect men, whereas in the United States, they don't respect men. They want to tell men what to do and how to think and how to speak and talk. So when you come from the United States with that subservient programming, you go overseas, one, you're not used to so many attractive women in one place, because there is a beauty deficit in the United States. So they become overwhelmed and they automatically go into simp mode, because there's so many women that they have a sensory overload. And a lot of these guys don't have any veterans that show them the ropes on how to move. These guys think, I seen some dudes on YouTube do something and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, but that's not how you want to move. You don't speak the language. 2, you don't know the environment. 3, you playing an away game and trying to play with home rules. No, that's not how it works. But Some of these guys, man, you just can't tell them anything. And what they do is they mess it up for authentic Black men that want to travel and explore their options.
Right.
I mean, we see it daily. These guys are so focused. And another thing too, a lot of these guys are so focused on the women that they miss the whole experience. Like, you're so focused on women because you see more attractive women that you think you can get access to, but you miss the whole point of traveling is to be exposed to something outside the matrix to make you think about your place in the matrix. But that simp mentality, it puts these women on a pedestal. So you're talking about putting more attractive women available with, I need to simp so that I can get women. And you put that together, and these dudes, they lose it. They really do. They lose it. They lose their mind. But in the essence, what happens is they put themselves in a bad position, and they give Black American men traveling a bad name, and they put targets on us. As you can see, the uptick in crime against African American men in Colombia.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All that is coming from these guys are going from the DR with that mentality, and now they're coming to Medellin with that mentality, and they're seeing what happens when you come into that environment and don't know the rules. Now you're making men targets, and you can't tell these guys anything else because they think that, oh man, you just hating. No, dude, I'm not hating on you. I'm telling you how to move because you're in a different environment, especially these young guys. Wait, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna put on the young guys, especially these inexperienced guys that traveling, because old guys are going overseas too and simping. Don't get it twisted. Matter of fact, the old guys are probably doing it more because they're the ones that are more conditioned to simping.
Right.
Because of growing up in that Gen X era.
Right.
Did you see the video, Eric, where the one dude was walking down the street in Colombia, and then he was walking around the street in
I saw
Colombia.
that.
It was an older dude. And then he started walking. They had some music playing. This fool started throwing money up in the streets, and I think he was in Cartagena. This fool's throwing money up in the streets and just walking around, and they going crazy about to fight each other over this money. I'm like, bruh, you are moving completely out of pocket right now. You are muddying up the waters. You gonna have a target on your back. You're gonna start because listen, the brothers out there or the people who live there, it's just like they know that we come and we travel, we come to enjoy, their culture and stuff like that. But when we go down there disrespecting, their environment, their culture, their people, by literally just throwing their money around like to us is nothing because we so high, so arrogant and American. I'm telling you, the situation can change for us out there like that. You can all of a sudden, they could start setting us up, posting up, waiting for us to go in, because they know where we at. They know exactly where we at and where we go. Because like you said, we're playing an away game. They can set you up so easy and just be like, oh yeah, this is the club y'all go to, peep game. I'm gonna have one of my shorties call you around this corner and it's gonna be lights out over for all of y'all. So I'm trying to say, like, that's why they need to calm down and slow down with all that nonsense. I mean, I don't think these brothers are traveling in the groups. I think these are what we call renegades, brothers who are just going out here. They're here. They will hear our message, but then again, they will go out there without proper guidance. You know what I mean? So they'll get down there and start doing ratchet stuff, messing up the whole game for everybody. Not only are they endangering themselves, but they're endangering everybody else too.
Right.
Yeah, guys like that, they're not accustomed to anything. And you can tell by their actions. Like, dude, okay, you're in a special group. You have your passport. I think the statistics is 5% of Americans have their passport. So you're already in an elite category just by having your passport. But nobody is giving these guys guidance, or they don't want it. Only thing they're so focused on is the JJ. Yeah. And that's the problem, because you're just like a dog in heat. And you're running right up into that snatch, and then all of a sudden, somebody putting that pistol in your life.
For real,
it get real serious. But see, dudes, you can't think like that. You can't tell them that. I just had a guy that tell me that, nah, he's good. He doesn't need anybody to show him around. His first time going to Brazil, actually two guys. First time going to Brazil, They don't speak the language. And they said that, nah, I don't need anybody to show me around. I'm good. I said, okay, well then have that thing. I'm like, but if you put yourself in a position down there, you're stuck, especially in certain countries because the embassies aren't open. Yeah. So you're really stuck, but you can't tell these dudes that. They're so focused on what they see. And some of these people put these videos up trying to extol the virtues of going overseas, and this is how it is. And let's just be honest, some of these dudes, man, they messing with them Rasputin's overseas. I'm like, bro, you could have stayed your monkey ass home for that shit.
Exactly.
Listen, guys.
Playing with the rackets.
You got low self-esteem. You need to go do something because you don't come overseas to mess with that. You could have stayed at home.
Exactly.
But see, that's the other thing too about the unconsciousness, because a lot of these dudes have low self-esteem. So when they go overseas, they feel like, oh, I'm high value right now. So I can take their money and throw it up in the air because in my mind, I know $5 is 1,000 pesos. Well, that ain't $5 nothing to me, but these 1,000 pesos, I'm throwing it up left and right, and they're gonna be in awe of me. But in reality, in those countries, that's very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
They have to struggle to get that money, and you throwing it up. So they look at it like, okay, you want to throw money up in the air? Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put this pistol in your life and see how you really feel. And we don't have no problem pulling the trigger.
No doubt, no doubt. Listen, guys, this show is going to be powerful. You got two brilliant brothers in the house, Deacon Eric Spencer, the president of BMO, Chris Strongheart, what I call Robin. Listen, it's 41 people in the chat tonight, 41 people in the room. I need you guys to do me a favor. We're at 1,000, almost 600, 1,800, I don't know. But we want to get this channel to 2,000. So I need everybody in this room tonight to share this show because Chris Strongheart has a lot of wisdom in traveling, and so does Deacon Eric Spencer. Deacon Eric Spencer been traveling about 5 to 6 years or more, and he's been all over the country. He's going to give you the game why simping is so deleterious to the conscience of the mind. I decided to take this series and call it the Degreasing series. And this third episode is called Female Psychology because many men have to be degreased when they go abroad. And in the clinical world, we call it cognitive restructuring. And so Eric and Chris is giving you a contextual framework why you have to be degreased when you travel abroad, because you don't be degreased as grease removes the stain. You will become a victim of the same peril that you've experienced here in America. Now listen, when you share this content, please hit the one button. I need 42 people to share this content. Share to everybody. Everyone that's listening, I need you to share this content. Now Deacon Eric Spencer, the casual observer, says, South America may have feminine fit women, but they do not have the same family and success pedigree as Arabs, Asians, women, etc. Black men, in my opinion, waste their time there. What's your take on that, brother?
I mean, you know, that's that person's opinion. But right. See, the thing about it is, a lot of people, they encapsulate Brazil as far as Rio, and that's it. And they think that, okay, well, Rio is the end all to be all, but that's not true. Brazil has over 220 million people, with anywhere between 40 to 60% of those of African descent. And a lot of those people are actually doing well. See, that's the misconception that people don't understand because they've never been and traveled. They think that everybody there is in poverty. And, you know, from the last trip you saw, we showed you that. That's not true. There's people down there getting money. They got Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all the other stuff too. Mm. But you get it misconstrued because of your opinion, what you think, better off, well behaved. And look, man, let me tell you something. When you go in that culture and you find women in those cultures, they are very, very open to what you have to offer. And I personally know people that are married to Brazilians living in the United States that are doing well. I mean, she's doing well in Rio and in the United States. But those things don't need to be advertised because that's that person's privacy. But once again, people talk about something they don't know nothing about. Mm-hmm. See, I've been to Brazil 8 times, and I haven't been just to Rio. Belo Horizonte, Salvador, Fortaleza. There's other regions, And the further north you go, the darker it gets. But you don't know that until you experience the culture. But if you just want to sit back at home and armchair and try to tell people about they're not really suitable for African American men, then I'm gonna tell you, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, because we share the same history. The only difference between us and them is they speak Portuguese and we speak English.
Right.
See, that's that mindset that a lot of these dudes here have in the Matrix. Really. Mm-hmm. Because those women are still looking for husbands. They still value manhood. Like Dr. Neal says, there is no gender war. You just have to understand the environment and pick better. Here in the States, it's slim pickings. We got a bad crop.
No, I agree. I agree with you 100%. You know, the ground
over there, the pickings is plentiful. And like I said, I know brothers that are getting married or already married. So you have to go to experience. You have to go to experience the opportunities. That's why the black man's option to support your option. But most of these dudes that are simps, the only thing on their mind is, oh, I want to stunt for the gram. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna live out my long childhood rap fantasy, and don't go in and try to learn the culture, get to know the people, and understand that there's an opportunity that they're not afforded in the Matrix. And that's why they go over there, go overseas, and they get caught up, because they still keep that same BS mentality of putting women on the pedestal instead of recognizing you're the prize, not them.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what the brother means by talking some Arab and Asian women are better as far as better cultured. I mean, unless he's been to Brazil and been to the different spots to even try to have an opinion like that, I don't even know where he's getting that from. I mean, like, bro, do you speak Portuguese? Do you really get in the culture? Have you been to different cities out there? I mean, you know, I guess, once again, to each his own, that's your opinion. Once again, brother, you travel, you do what you do, not an issue. But, I mean, if you want to sit back and take shots at Brazil and stuff like that, it's just like, fam, why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just go over there and do what you do, bro. Like, nobody's going to be mad at you. But to make it seem as though that, you know, you can't genuinely deal with a Brazilian woman because of their culture, you know what I mean? I'm just like, bro, I don't see where you're coming from on that standpoint, my G. I can't rock with you, because if he has a certain perception of Rio as far as like Copacabana or Ipanema, then I mean, you know, has he tried going up to what's it called, where everybody's rich at, where we went to?
Bar de Juca.
Bar de Juca. Hey, what? Hey, they got what? I saw a Lambo out there. They out there driving BMWs,
right?
Bodies. I mean, you talking? No, that's literally where the celebrities live at. I mean, it's like, no, they got the money. It's just not down in Copacabana, but the money is out there. And if you're looking for, you want to find the high class or whatever you want to call it, where the money at, where the rich at, no, they got it. It's in Barra Tijuca and different places like that. But I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if that brother wants to have that opinion, again, that's his own opinion, man. But I'm just like, all right, G, if that's how you coming, I guess it's just how you coming with it. But
no doubt. Shout out to my man Rashid Malcolm Timmons. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Go as someone who wants to learn the culture and blend being a gentleman in what you learn about their culture. That worked great for me in Korea. Eric, what do you say about that based on what Rashid Malcolm Timmons said? And thank you guys for the brother that gave me the $10 super chat. I'll call your name out in a minute. And to the others that have not donated, please share this content. You would donate to this channel by sharing the content. I need everybody in this looking at the show right now to share this content to at least 5 people and help me get this channel to 2,000. We're almost there, but I need you guys to share this content to 5 people and help me get this channel to 2,000. But Eric, based on what Rashid Malcolm Timmons said, what's your take on what the brother said?
Man, he's 100% correct. That is the best mentality to have, because you're going to be curious. You're going to see something different outside of the United States. You know, and like I said, I've been traveling since I was 19. You know, I've been to 40 states and 28 countries, well, actually 29 countries. So I have a different perspective when it comes. But one thing that I did learn, that when I was in the military, they always said, when you go someplace, go and look and see and observe the culture, because you may never get a chance to go there again. to go see something other than what you know in the United States, because the United States is not end all be all. So from a young age, I did that, and it has shaped me. I just didn't realize it until I got older, because I was so used to going and looking and seeing. But looking back on it, a lot of people couldn't relate to the things that I was talking about. I'm like, yeah, man, I went to Singapore. Oh, man, they got this, that. They got 23 karat gold. Oh, the city's clean. Oh, they got 240 power, blah, blah. Oh, I went to Thailand. They got this and that, Or, I went to Canada or different places, Portugal. When you have guys that have never been any place, they can't relate. And when they don't go in to traveling with the thought process of going to see something different, then they don't see anything but what they're looking for. They're laser focused on one thing, and a lot of guys are laser focused on for JJ. That's just the honest to God fact. They only travel for that. They're traveling till they can get a better type of woman, but they're not looking for long-term relationships. So you negate your reason for traveling. If that's the case, you could have stayed home.
Right. Casual observer says that Indian, Chinese, Korean, Jewish women have an extremely good track record with the U.S. Auditioning them makes more sense than seeking a Colombian woman with a 50-plus single mom rate. So I guess what he's saying is that women in South or South American countries are more prone to be baby mamas versus women from China, Korea, Indian, and Jewish cultures. What's your take on that?
That's not true.
Hold tight, Chris.
I can tell you that right now. That's not true. Because see, if you really travel, Thailand is full of baby mamas.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, where do you think you get all these blazings from? In Southeast Asia and all this other stuff, from Vietnam era and whatnot. There's a lot of single moms overseas. You're trying to stereotype them based on your opinions, but trust me, I've been over there. There's a lot of them overseas that are single moms, and you're also stereotyping and thinking that we're going to go and choose these women. No, see, that's what I'm talking about. You don't understand the game. We're not going overseas dealing with single moms. She might be for fun, but she ain't there for the long run. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're trying to make assumptions still based on the way that you think United States. I'm not messing with a single mom in the United States. I damn sure ain't going overseas to mess with one. So, but like I said, once again, you got dudes that try to take that matrix mentality with them overseas and try to apply it to us. Look, if you want to mess with a single mom overseas, that's cool. And another thing too is they don't act the same over there as they do over here. And I'm not going to knock single mothers over there because they're in a different environment. You're trying to compare single mom, or excuse me, baby mama terrorists, shout out to my man, Mr. Palmer, and compare them to women overseas. That's not necessarily true. But you have to know the environment. You have to do a better job of vetting the women that you deal with. And if you're trying to vet a woman based on American standards, and then you really don't understand what you're looking for. Because overseas, there's penalties for them being single mothers. So a lot of women, if they're a single mother, they're one. They still may be good women. But at the same time, you as a man can say no, thank you. That comes from you knowing your value and your worth. If you choose to date with a single mama, that's fine. But I don't have to. And the same thing applies here in the States. But the fact that you made that statement saying that, oh yeah, you're going there messing with single moms, and you trying to say Asians don't have single moms, dude, that's hypocritical, because I know plenty of single moms in Pattaya, in Bangkok, you know what I'm saying, in Singapore. So that just doesn't line up. And I've been there numerous times. But hey, people want to think what they think, and that's cool. But for me, South American women are more in line with us because we have a shared history, especially the Afro Latinos, Afro Brazilian, because we have a very, very closely related history. And they can relate to a lot of things that we relate to in the States. And they also share a lot of the interests that we have. Matter of fact, they're more in tune to their African roots than we are because there was more of them there and they were able to keep that going. Right. Whereas in the States, we were assimilated into a culture, and yes, we created our own culture, but we're still not as rooted in our ancestry culture as people in Brazil.
Right. Excellent. Before we let Chris speak, Chris, I'm gonna bring you on in a minute, brother. Shout out to brother Teddy Doyle for the $10 super chat. PSA for the brothers traveling to South American region that leave. That PSA for the brothers traveling to South American region. Leave that make it rain mentality in Babylon. Getting caught up is a different ball game. Chris, what do you say about that? About based on what brother Teddy Doyle said. And thank you, Teddy, for that generous donation. And also, guys, YouTube is a beast when they come out of these super chats. They be taking a large percentage. At some point, please hit the link for the cash out. But also, just share the content. If you don't have anything to share money-wise, share the content. I need all the brothers in the house tonight to share the content. It should be 100 people in here tonight. Share the content. And we're going to have some people coming in for the live questions to ask Chris and Eric about traveling abroad to Brazil. But based on what Teddy Doyle said, Chris, what's your take on that, brother?
Well, first let me address the brother who's trying to say that all these other different types of groups of women are just so much better than women in South America. I mean, first of all, I'm like, yo, like, let him come up and say his piece, because if he's trying to talk about how it makes it seem like that, oh, they have a 50% rate plus baby mamas over in Colombia and stuff like that. It's just like you're missing the context of the concept of what traveling is about. It's about experiencing a different lifestyle, culture, people. You know, like he said, like Eric said, you're missing the foundation here. It's not just about the women. I mean, there's gonna be baby mamas everywhere you go, and you make it sound like we out there running just trying to get wives, as if to say if it was a whole country full of baby mamas in Colombia, guess what? That don't mean we gotta marry them. You know what I'm saying? We can still go out there and experience a great time and a great lifestyle with people who speak a different language, and they want to have us come down because they like our customs and cultures as well, and they want to get to know us too. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I dropped the link and let them come on up and say what he got to say, because it sounds like he wants to smoke. And I'm just saying, like, bro, like, if that's what you're trying to say, then it is what it is. But, your concepts, bro, I'm not catching how you coming on that. So if real talk, bro, if you want to come up here and say your piece, you can go ahead and do that. But like I said, I'm not the host of the show, because if it was me, I'd drop the link immediately.
Well, we will at some point, but calm down, Conscious Craig.
No, I'm good.
I know you're passionate.
I'm good.
But Casual Observer, at some point, this is a fair debate. I want you to come on, Casual Observer, our respected brother, and I want him to share his piece too, because he might have a perspective that's different. All right. So shout out to my man Rashid. Malcolm Timmons, go as a group and get away from tourist place. And that's what the administrator, Deacon Eric Spencer, does. We normally go in a group. Tell the audience about the group travel versus solo travel, Eric.
Man, let me tell you something. And he's right on point, because when you go by yourself, you're by yourself. Now, if you go by yourself and you've been there a couple of times, then that's different. You're already accustomed to the environment. You know how to move. But when you're going dolo and you're by yourself, you don't have the same experience. Why? Because traveling is a group experience, especially when you have a lot of brothers from different backgrounds. And that's what we do at the Black Man's Option. You two, y'all were on the May trip. And, Chris, I know you've gone to Brazil solo, but the difference between you going solo and then going with the group is a big difference, because not only are you exposed to different things and you have that veteran experience with you, you also have the brotherhood. You're connecting with Black men that you never would have met, never would have even known or come in contact with. And you guys are out of the country sharing this experience, life-changing experience, and you're bonding over it. That's the part that a lot of guys don't get. You're bonding over it. You got 20 guys and you're rolling through Copa, or you're rolling through Bar, or you rolling through Madeira, or you going to the soccer game and you doing all that stuff. Dude, it's an energy with us that can't compare. When we roll in spots, they see us, they feel us. And it's it's such a good, refreshing feeling because you don't have that negativity on your back that you have in the States. And when you do that, you're connecting with brothers and you feel a lot more secure in your movements. So you get exposed to an experience and you don't have that fear. And then when you go through it, oh man, I now understand I can do this, I can do that. I mean, Dr. Neil is a perfect example. He went with us in May, and it was so good to him. He had to go back in August, but he felt comfortable going because he went with us in May, and he understood how to move because we taught him how to move, what to do, where to go, and it just helped him move forward. Traveling solo is fun. But I tell brother, I say, at least go with a group of dudes in a structured environment, especially the more that you go with, the better, because it can put you in a situation where you don't really know how to move, what to do. You don't speak the language or all the other stuff, where you got guys that speak the language, that live there, that know where to go outside of the tourist spots, to take you to the real authentic spots, that have already connected with locals. And, myself personally, I've been so much that I have connection with locals that I still talk to on WhatsApp. I have friends in Salvador. I have my teacher, she's in Sao Paulo. I have friends in Rio, and they expose you to that because they know that you want to see more than just the tourist stuff. But if you don't go with a group of people, then you miss out on that type of experience, and you just sit in one spot and you just think this is the end all be all, and you don't have a good time.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Chris, what do you say to what Eric has said? And casual observer, at some point, I want to bring you on, brother. I want to have other brothers come on, and we're going to talk about why is it so important to be degreased when you travel abroad, because simping for a lot of men traveling abroad is an unconscious pathology. And I call it that, as I said earlier, because men have to have their minds restructured when they travel abroad. In the clinical term, we call it cognitive restructuring. If you don't restructure your cognitions, you will become, once again, a beast of burden, like so many men in America. But Chris, I want you to more or less highlight what Eric said, and then we're going to run a clip when Aaron Ferris is on the show talking about simping and also the unconscious simp, because the unconscious simp is totally different than the conscious simp. So go ahead, Chris.
Well, Eric is most definitely right. You know what I'm saying? Going down there, having the experience with the brothers and the brotherhood is great. You know what I'm saying? It's a great time. You get to see the different places. But like he said, I had been there 4 times by myself, just moving on my own. And in that, I was able to have a different experience. And I guess maybe it's because of more of my personality. If I'm by myself, I'm not trying to be out here and have all the attention on me. I pretty much move solo. I move quiet. But even when you just walk around and just shut your mouth, you don't say nothing, and you just kind of, in that moment, kind of experience and kind of take it in as kind of walking amongst the Brazilians and walking amongst the people who live there. And because I got friends there, I got people I know there that I talk to on a regular as I go down there. I got homies at the tattoo shops and all different kind of spots, so I can move through there, and I know people, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you start to really learn the culture. I've had people, because I speak a little bit of Portuguese, I'm definitely not fluent, but I've had people, who, when I can speak some of the language, they feel automatically comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They want to practice their English, because there's not everybody don't speak English, but they know some things. And when they see that you are someone who is going to be patient with them and allow them to work and practice their English, they're very open to even communicating with you more. They want to show you stuff. Like, I'm trying to tell you, because of my connections down there, I was out one night after getting some ink work done, got a tattoo done, and I'm hanging out. We went down and around the corner. We had a drink. We watched a Flamengo game. So, it was rowdy. And then my homeboy I was with, his friends came around, and then I'm hanging out with them. And then in one night, I'm just meeting them, and they're like, do you want to come with us to another bar on the other side, down closer to the beach? And we out there having, drinks. And it's just the atmosphere and the culture is so open. And it's just like, like Eric was saying about how they are connected, and it seems like they have a more of a respect for African than we do over here in the States. because the whole thing about race and racial structure and skin tones and all that to them is not that big of a deal. I mean, you have people down there who they could pass for almost anything, claiming their blackness and their African roots. Like my homeboy, like, you know, you would see him as a real light skinned, some type of Hispanic light skinned dude, right? And he's talking about, no, he's black, he's black. I'm like, okay, bro, all right, you black, you know, and it's true, you know, his dad, you know, is black. But in here in the States, and one of the biggest things that really do get on my nerve is how people want to act like that mixed is its own race. Like mulatto is not a race; it's a classification based off the structure of racism or race. Because understand, race is a social construct, meaning that under scrutiny it does not work because your genetics and your blackness is dominant. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that if you have a child with somebody who say a white person, still that's a black child though. Because when we talk about the structure of race and how it was all put together, if we're gonna go off the one drop rules and everything like that, if we're gonna go off the KKK and all that different stuff, how they did it in the States and everything like that, white was white. That was it. There was no mix. They didn't give people who were quote unquote mixed special privileges like that. Now in some places, as time went on, they said, oh, we can use this to our advantage and we can have subclasses and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's us who keep playing this racial game, because down over there, it's not, I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, but I'm going to say that it's different. It's not as drastic as we like to do it, because the whole thing about people being different shades of brown down there, it's such a mixed environment to where it's just kind of like, we're not really on that type of time. Like, it's not such a taboo thing to be a Brazilian dude and you could be black, but your girl is classified as a white Brazilian. And then you're not going to get all these weird looks and all this other stuff. And it's a different environment. You know what I mean? So I definitely will give you that the culture and the vibes down there are so different. And they have no issue claiming their blackness down there. You know what I mean? It's because I walked around and I can say that even walking the streets of Rio, because I've been there by myself plenty of times, I felt more comfortable down there at different points than I have walking around some neighborhoods in the States, because of the stigma that's associated with, oh, let me not wear this, let me not wear that, let me make sure I look this way, that way. But down there in Rio, in different places, it's like your culture or you are looked at as, you know, oh, this is the cool black person and this and that and the third, and you feel so comfortable, even when you don't speak the language. They're very accommodating. They'll say things to you like, oh, what's good, brother, da-da-da. And that could be all the English they know. But they'll still look to accommodate and try to, you know, bridge the gap if you're willing. And you're not going down there being stupid like some brothers are going down there throwing up money in the streets, trying to make it rain, being ignorant, and just going down there looking to see how many bodies they can stack up. Well, if you're gonna go down there with that ratchet mentality and ratchet energy, then of course you're gonna attract that type of ratchet behavior. That's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to say. We're not going down there with the onus to say, oh, we're just gonna go here and stack up bodies. Man, we're going to different places. We're going to obviously the tourist spots, but we got brothers who live down there, who live in the favelas. The brother who did the favela tour, showing us spots, showing us the different things, how they live. You know what I'm saying? All the different things that can go on out there to give brothers a different experience who have never stepped out of their neighborhoods. Okay, I've been traveling like all my life, like, because you know I grew up military. So for me, I've been in so many different places. When I got in the military, it just made it even. I've always been a traveler. And for me, like I said, I've been to Brazil like 4 times. And then I just wound up finding my group of brothers who travel as well. So 1 + 1 is 2. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, naturally, I just fell into like, oh, hey, these guys travel too. So like I said, man, it's such a relaxing to your psyche when you get down there. And it's just like, wow, man, it's just like all these things I stress and I worry about in the States, down here is just like my G, I thought I was struggling in the States. And when you go down there in some places, you do see that how they can be in such what we would consider poverty. But to them, they're out there just living their lives, enjoying it on the beach, you know, just having fun, laughing. And you would think like, man, some of these people are pretty poor, but they still out there drinking, dancing to the loud music. I mean, the way they even treat their homeless people out there. Like, I was with a chick and we was hanging out having a date, and it caught me off guard. Where after we got finished eating, like she ganged up all the food that we didn't eat. I was like, oh, okay, she gonna take it home and this and that. Nah, she walked like a block down the street, and we was heading one direction, and she gave it to like this homeless family that she knew about, and just gave them the food. And I just was like, what? To me, that just like kind of blew my mind on how, you know, connected even the homeless people are with the people. It's such a home environment, you know, in places like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of love down there, man. So hey, that's why brothers keep traveling and going, man. It's a different environment. You know, what can I say?
Facts.
So
Facts.
first, let me ask you guys a question before I talk. You know, guys, once again, thank you for everything. We're trying to upgrade the program, as you see. Got new mics, got the whole nine. Literally paid almost over $1,000 for all this stuff, but I do it because I love the brotherhood, man. Literally over $1,000, but that's neither here nor there. I want to be quality content to BMO brothers, but also to American black men. And so that's why I do what I do as a clinical therapist, because I realize that men need to be degrees from the toxicity in America. Eric, I want you to tell the audience the first time you were degrees and what it felt like, and why it's so important for American black men and American men in general to be degrees from the toxicity that resides in America.
Oh, that's easy. 2017, because I had been going through something in my personal life with a American woman that just left me perplexed. So I ended up finding Charles Tyler video and knew that he was going to have the beach party in November. So I booked my ticket, booked my flight, booked my room, and came on down. But the funny thing for me was, once you got down there, you had that pressure lifted off of you, just being in a different environment. The energy just hits you different. And then when you start talking to brothers that have already been traveling to that specific spot, it really opened you up to the possibilities. Because for me, I was like, I'm not getting married to anybody in the States. That's a wrap. Right. I'm not doing that after that situation. But now I'm going and seeing that there are possibilities for me to continue to find something that I want to find. The importance of getting degrees is because men in the United States, black men in particular, especially with the way that we were brought up and socialized, is that we're supposed to put these women on the pedestal and then we have no value.
Right.
And that's what we've been told for the last 50, 60 years. And that's just not true. And when you go someplace like that, you start to recognize your value, because when you travel outside the United States, they don't have all that BS because they can't afford it. You can't have all this feminist rhetoric. You can't have all this falsely putting your men above your women. Why? Because they don't have all the things to set up like the United States does to keep men down. So when you go overseas, it's kind of you taking the red pill. Right. But in that sense, you realize that you have value. You have more value than you really think and know. And by being degrees, you come out, you get unplugged from the matrix.
Right. And these shows are extremely important to helping a lot of our men become degrees, because, as I said earlier, degreasing is similar to cognitive restructuring in the clinical world. And Eric is 100% correct. It's almost shameful to the level of simping that a lot of American black men more or less pontificate, because their self-esteem are so low. Eric, there are women that are listening, and I'm sure some think, oh, he don't like black women, but you got 3 sisters. I know this man, you love your mom. Tell the women that are listening why you choose to more or less look for wives outside of America compared to, other places. So tell the audience why you're looking for your wife from another country.
Oh, well, it's easily. And like I said, I woke up. I found out that these women are not our women. They're in competition with us. All the stuff that we've been told about, they're looking for a good man, not true. All the stuff talking about they want to be wives and family, not true. And you've been lied to. And you can't go by what they say, you go by what they do. And as you can see, the state of the black community, that's what they do. They got almost upwards of 80% out of wedlock birth rate. And now we have statistical data showing that, all y'all sleeping with a small segment of dudes. But yet and still you got the nerve to come out your mouth and talk about we ain't this and we ain't that. And now we know it's true, because 51% of black men don't even have any kids. So which black men are you talking about? You're going to make general statements, but you need to be specific. It's the black men that you choose to mess with that ain't hitting on nothing. But we're supposed to be taking the blame and the shame because of your bad choices. No, thank you. I'm getting off that ride and I'm going to let you ride it on because now I understand what it is. And what it is for me is you don't value me. And I told you before, Kosher, if you don't value my presence, get used to my absence.
Respect. No, that's very paramount. Teddy KB said, I don't know why it's not popping up on the screen. And thank you, Snuggles, for donating the $5 super chat. And also Teddy KB for the $10 super chat. Look at Chris. Chris loves Snuggles.
Shout out to Snuggles. Shout out to Snuggles.
Chris loves to hear what Snuggles is not talking about.
I welcome Snuggles.
I love Snuggles too. Hold on for a minute. I don't know why these super chats not popping on the screen so I can click on them. I don't know. I'm trying to click on them. But anyway, Teddy KB said to the panel, can you compare and contrast the psychology of Dominicans versus Brazilians, also between the two where you would plant your roots? So I know that's easy in my opinion. But I'll let Chris take it first, and then Eric, I'll let you break it in.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, as far as the DR versus Brazil, I haven't really been to DR. You know what I'm saying? So I can only go based off what the traveling brothers have told me. You know what I'm saying? The OGs can tell me. You know, the brother, you know, Aaron Ferris, you know, who has frequently went out there. The other brothers I've watched out there as well, brother Flip Flop, who, if y'all don't know, he has his own restaurant and everything out there, and I've watched their videos and content. And I haven't heard anything that is generally outrageously different as far as how girls in the DR move versus how they move in Brazil. All I can really give you is as far as where to plant my flag. I mean, obviously that's down in Rio and mainly Barra Tijuca, just to go ahead and put it out there. Yeah, Barra Tijuca, like, and then, hey, you know what? If y'all don't know, when y'all left after we went to Pablo Juan, isn't that the restaurant? Yeah. I had to bring a guest up in there immediately. I had to flex. So I was like, yo, I know what it takes. Oh.
Chris, hold on, Chris, real quick. Shout out to Snuggles. Snuggles funny too. Snuggles said, I'm tired. Everywhere I go, I see Gail Lockett. When I sleep at night, I see the name flash across my eyelids. You people need to stop this. What the F? Oh my goodness, Snuggles funny. Snuggles is so funny. Shout out to Gail. Gail is a superwoman. I don't know how Gail do. I told her to come on help. She's always in. And shout out to my man Tim Howard. Tim Howard is everywhere too. There must be aliens or mutants, man, because I don't know how they do it. They can moderate like 5 shows at one time. But I love those guys. And also shout out to my man, Mr. Palmer. Thank you, brother. We would be doing some more shows in the future. And Mr. Palmer, if you haven't traveled abroad, man, it's great over yonder. But Eric, I want you to break it down about why Brazil is better than Greece. Because I think American men have messed Dominican Republic up because they simp so hard.
Exactly.
But I want you to tell the audience why
exactly.
Brazil is better than
man. Because hey, look, it's for okay. Everybody has their preference, but see what happened is when you make something as far as DR a low-hanging fruit, then sooner or later it spoils because everybody can get to it. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening in the DR. And like I said, me personally, I have no desire to go there because I see what these guys do. And like the guy said, choose better women. When you're accustomed to choosing subpar women in the States, then you go overseas, you have the same mentality. You choose subpar women over there. And in their culture, they know they're subpar. But by you choosing them, because you're a higher status man to them, they feel like it's elevated. And they get this inflated ego. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was worth this much. So now, well, at least to American dudes, so now they go down there and these American dudes are thirst trapping chicks that, hey, you could have stayed home for that. But over there, they think it's something great and they want to share it with the world. And I'm like, hey, if you like it, I love it. but you don't really understand where you're going. And quite frankly, you know, you've messed up the environment, because you're putting yourself in a position where now you're going to overseas mess with subpar women. And quite frankly, you're lowering yourself even lower, because the men in those countries are looking at you like that? Like, oh my God. Like, what's going on? Like, I saw the guy made a comment about what the men talk about overseas. Look, I can't speak for DR, but I know there are other places outside the DR. But brothers congregate in one spot because somebody else told them the same thing. So okay, everybody go there. But then again, the women are saying, well, hey, I don't have to look like this. I'm still getting all this attention from these American dudes. So hey, you got a bunch of subpar women going there, and these American dudes that are supposedly higher value in their culture, and they're still getting this. And these women are making these demands, and these dudes fall right back into simping. They fall right back into it, because that is their default.
Right.
So, but in Brazil and Colombia too, in Brazil and Colombia, their 4, 5s, and 6s could be 6, 7, and 8s in the United States all day long, and they're plentiful. And in their country, they know they're 4, 5s, and 6s. And to us, coming there, they're 6, 7, and 8s because of what we're dealing with here. They think they're 7, 8s, and 9s, and they're really 2, 3s, and 4s.
Right.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. 80% obesity. Anyone? I mean, hey, let's talk about it. No, see, that's the thing that people don't want to talk about.
Talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me a minute, Eric, and then we're gonna talk about. Shout out to my man Tim Howard for the $10 super chat. Congratulations on your monetization, the coach clinician. Thank you, Tim Howard. And United Fitness, I don't know if it's $10 or it was $100, but he said, hold these $100 MXN pesos all the way from Mexico. Shout out to Gail Lockett. So I guess $10 in Mexico is 100 pesos, right?
It might be more than that, man. I don't know, but hey.
I don't know if it's $100 or
currency converter.
Oh, he said MX 100. So I don't know if that's 100 MXN pesos. So it might be.
Thank you, and keep moving.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for that generous super chat. I'm grateful and gracious for your kindness. But Eric, finish answering the question, and we're going to show a clip. And then, guys, we want the guys to come in and join the discussion, because Deacon Eric Spencer and I and the Conscious Crab, I call him the Young Conscious Crab. My man Gene is the original Conscious Crab. But we're going to free your mind. And Casual Observer, I want you to come on, brother, at some point and give your point of contention. And this is going to be a civil debate. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you to pipe down. I know you're passionate.
It's all good. It's all good.
Unless you pipe down, because I know you're passionate. But finish adding to the discussion, Chris and Eric, about what Eric said. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So so when you're talking about the environments in Brazil, Colombia, I don't quite remember the country population, but I think somewhere like 20, 25 million, something like that. But when you start talking about Brazil, it's over 220 million people there. So that's a lot of people. And just in Rio, you only talking about maybe 8 million. So you're not even, I mean, bro, you ain't making a dent in the options that are available. So you have to explore. But if you are set on one thing, then that's all you're going to get. One thing. And this thing about baby mamas, all other stuff, dude, you are the prize. No doubt about that. And when you go with we go on a group trip, these dudes explain it to you, because you have to understand that's part of getting degrees, is understanding your place in it. You have to understand that you are the prize, and even more so because you have the same hue as them.
Right.
They share, man, they listen to the same music that we listen to. Matter of fact, they listen to more R&B, old school R&B and hip hop than we do. They're more in tune with our culture than we are in our own state, in the States.
Right.
So you can't just sit back and think that, oh, well, they're this or they're that because they're in Brazil, or they're only one way and everybody down there is out for a green card and all of them are just pros and all the other stuff. Man, that's a very skewed way of looking at things. And if you've never been and experienced the culture in the country, then quite frankly, you might as well just stay home because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right. So Snuggles asked the question, can anyone tell us, are there any black women in Brazil, or do they all look like white?
Man, look, Snuggles, let me tell you something. Bruh.
Come on, hold up. No.
What do you own? About the Wu-Tang Clan?
Trying to get us going.
I love Snuggles. But listen, so to answer that question, Eric has talked about in the past, yes, the slave trade, the biggest population of slaves are actually exported in Brazil. And I guess with Eric's permission, I would show up there. Anyway, but yeah, they're very black. So Eric, tell them about the black Brazilians or the Afro-Brazilians. Snuggles asked that question. Break it down for them.
Yes, that's another thing too, that, we as blacks, we think that we're the end all be all. But if you go right up here to Washington, D.C., or any of your history books and whatnot, they'll show you the transatlantic slave routes. And they'll show you what they estimated, what the amount of slaves deposited in certain areas. And in Brazil, they estimated anywhere between 4 to 6 million slaves were deposited in between Salvador and Rio de Janeiro, which are ports in Brazil. The largest export of slaves were to Brazil, because if you look at it on a map, they were so close. The United States, they only exported about 250,000 of us. So more likely we were bred to the numbers that we have, versus they were there organically because it was such a short trip. So that's why they were able to hold more of their culture together, because it was more of them together. And like I said before, the stats are out now, and in Brazil, they're going through their civil rights type movement where they're starting to identify themselves as Afro-Brazilians.
Afro-Brazilians, right.
So when you start looking at their lineage, anywhere between 45 to 60% of them. That's why you have a lot of these Brazilian women that look white, but when you look at their features and their genetics and stuff, and you look at their family tree, it's some Negroes hanging around up there.
Eric, with your permission,
go ahead.
With your permission, I'm going to show this picture. So I'm going
go ahead.
Find and post it.
My friend Michelle. Go ahead, show Michelle.
All right. So Chris, you're a culture expert. You love culture. Let's talk about Brazilian culture. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, in terms of how we're discussing and things, how it goes with the slave trade, he's on point, because when we talk about from the slave trade from the 1500s up until the 1800s, okay? So what we're talking about is the movement of slaves, all right? So you look, they say that it was about 12 million that came out of Africa, 2 million didn't make it, and then amongst that, you had majority went to the Caribbean, and then from the Caribbean, you had less than 400,000 who actually were moved into the continental United States up north above the Caribbean. Most went down into Brazil. So to have this disassociation with your blackness, because you don't quite grasp the concept of how great your genetics are, you're going to have this disassociation to think that the only thing black is what you see as a African American. And you have a complete disassociation with how great you are throughout the whole diaspora. You can honestly, as a black man, you can move throughout the whole entire continental Americas and be comfortable. You don't have to stay in the States. And that's one of the biggest things that we talk about as well, because unless you've been there to see it, you won't believe it. You can go down into some places, you can feel like you're in just another neighborhood in the States, but you in Brazil. We literally went there. What was that place we went to called Casa Black? Wasn't that it?
Oh, yeah, in the North Zone.
Oh, my. Where the video? Go watch. We got videos. I got videos. I'm trying to tell you, sisters out there froze out. You know what I'm saying? Just, and then sisters who didn't have froze trying to have froze out there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you, like, unless you've seen it for your own eyes. And I mean, the brothers will talk about it and tell you. You have this perspective that there's this white devil or whatever you want to call it everywhere you go. Man, get that stuff out of your head, man. Our people are great. We're everywhere. even the indigenous population in the states right here in the land that you was born in, right here. You can't even because think about the numbers that we just gave you. How does that equate to the population of black people in the United States by themselves? Because they said by, let me see, before Jim Crow slavery. So think about this. You got to think about the numbers of black people that were already here that got mixed in with some of the Africans that were brought. These are the stories that people don't know. It's the history that a lot of people don't want to get into and don't want to talk about. Because some people will go too far to say that slave trade never happened. Yes, it did happen. But the thing about it is that it's not this great massive number of slaves that was drug over here on these supposed super slave ships that you can't even prove existed. What it was is like, yeah, there were ships, but the Santa Maria and all the other ships that Columbus and the boys came over on, these were small type ships, and they had some Negroes that they were trafficking with them. But it was not this great massive dragging Negroes out by their hair, from all these different populations and threw them over in the United States. All right. You got to, if you only have an understanding of your history, what they told you in elementary school, if that's the only thing that you can go off of, if that's as far as you can go, then guess what? You need to update your history because there's far more to it than what they told you in grade school. All right. There's so much more of your great blackness that is out there. Okay. And like the chat said, like the brother said, Brazil is technically closer to Africa. Yes, it is. Because people don't understand that on a map, you have to understand that the United States is like here, and then Brazil is like out here at an angle. As it comes across, it's at an angle. So it's technically closer to Africa. And the culture out there is very strong. Like, they don't always necessarily know that you're American. Because I've traveled to different places, and before I've even said a word, they thought I was Colombian. They thought I was Brazilian. They thought I was Moroccan. They thought I was all kind of, because I've been through Dubai. They thought I was from Morocco, all kind of stuff. People don't have the understanding of how great their genetics are. See, that's what I'm saying. You have to understand, you have to separate culture and race are two different things. You can be black all day, just like you can be a Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican does not denounce a skin tone, okay? Mexican does not denounce a skin tone. Your culture is what and who you are and what you portray. That's the image. That's your family. That's your values. Your culture. That's what matters overall. Race technically is a lie. Like I said, it's a social construct.
It's a social construct.
Created. Yeah, that's the French. That really the French created. Charles Darwin and the boys. I'm trying to remember the exact process. But they went around categorizing everything by skin tone, shapes, and sizes, saying this is this and this is that. And then in the future, they use it as a political movement. This is why it's so big, and we argue about it in the states, in the country, about who's Puerto Rican, who's Mexican, because it's political power. That's what the true point and power of racism is. They use it because if everybody was just brown, and they said that you have white here and then brown everybody else, guess what happens? That whole concept of minority and majority gets completely flipped on its head. Right. That's why they had to keep categorizing and chopping everybody up by skin tones and cultures and saying, oh, he's black, he's Mexican, but they have the exact same hair and shade. And so it's political power. You have to understand how the elite think, okay? Gotcha. So, and then we are the ones who perpetuate these stupid racial narratives. And that's why the demon keeps growing, is because people haven't wised up and become enlightened and understand that how great you are. And if we stop the machine, it'll die dead in its tracks. There it is.
Kia Drew said, I thought the man is the catch and the woman is the prize. Kia, dear, I would say that the man is the prize catcher. I created a term called the prize catcher, meaning men determine the pathway to relationships. We're the gatekeepers. So the man is the prize catcher. He denotes or more or less determines if a woman is a prize. It's about 32 in the house tonight. Guys, please share the content. This show is very important because many men want to travel abroad. And with only 5%, according to Eric Spencer, saying black men actually have passports, it's important for you guys to get schooled on remodifying how you think once you travel abroad. We're going to bring up the pictures at some point, but guys, I need you to get the likes up. I need you to share the content. There's 34 people in this office or in the chat or on the show. Once everyone share this show to at least 5 people, I'm going to bring the pictures up. I mean, Eric will have a comprehensive conversation about Afro-Lat. We're going to show you what Afro-Latin women look like and let them know they look just like Eric, Chris, and also myself. So once you guys share the content to at least 5 people, I want you everybody to hit one in the in the chat. And so once you guys get there, I'm going to show you the pictures, and then we're going to play this clip in a minute. All right. So Chris Strongheart, when did you become degreased, and when did you know it that you were actually being degreased?
Well, me and my situation, it had to come after, I could say, my marriage. Coming off of my marriage, I had a lot of questions. I was searching for a lot of things. I was kind of lost, in the sense, because I was somewhat also separated from my family. I was in one of them type relationships where I found myself being cut off from like my friends, family, basically. I hadn't seen my family in like some time. I wasn't really traveling home. And when I came off of all that, stuff I was going through, and I really started to search and look for answers, I eventually got to the point to where it was about me going over. Charles Tyler. I picked up on Charles Tyler's videos and stuff like that. And then next thing I know, I found myself in Brazil. Not too long after that, I found myself in Brazil, traveling around and really seeing that environment. So that's what really got me. That was it.
Right. I don't think you guys are going to find another person from a clinical background to share with you the kind of content I'm bringing, but also using terms like degreasing. Al Grease is coming out with Frustrated 3. Chris Strongheart and I and Deacon Eric Spencer, we were actually out in Brazil back in May, and the official movie is going to be out in November, I believe, to commemorate Charles Tyler, the progenitor of the BM movement, well, not the movement, but more or less encouraging brothers to travel abroad. Eric, is it safe to say that Charles Tyler was the progenitor of the BMO movement? Is that fair to say? I want to make sure I'm not misquoting.
I would say Charles was probably the most person that had the notoriety when it came to it, because he put it out there for so long. Yeah, there were brothers that were traveling, Frustrated that Grease produced and created. Yes, he put it on the map, but you still didn't have anybody of real notoriety putting out there like Charles did. I mean, Charles went from Blog Talk Radio to the YouTube to the Beach Party, and to just go on and continue on even up until his last days here. Mm-hmm. So Charles was very important, and still to this day inspires a lot of people. And a lot of these other YouTube content creators will tell you that Charles inspired them.
Right. We're going to play this clip real fast.
Stuff like that. That's the real work that's going on.
This was with Aaron
Ferris, when did you become degreased? When did you, finally wake up and realize that, something is wrong? And maybe you addressed it earlier, but I want you to retouch on that a little bit. But when did Aaron Ferris become degreased? But also, Aaron, what's your take on the shaming language with PUAs and other men in this space to try to shame men for having options?
Oh man, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, because we brothers. I gotta be really honest. When I got degrees, man, I think I saw the Philando Castile murder on Instagram, and I was just really angry. I was really angry, man. I was looking for a solution. I'm not the type of guy that likes to talk about the problem all day, every day. I'm the type of guy that, okay, that's the problem. Let's look for a solution, because that's the way I was raised by my granddad. So, I'm dating a chick. She's Colombian, but she's American Colombian. And she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm about to go patrol the neighborhood. I have my guns with me and everything." She was like, "You about to go patrol the neighborhood?" I'm like, "Yeah, these other people are tripping out here." And she was like, she kind of calmed me down. So that's when I knew, okay, I need to get up out of here. And I was looking at Charles Tyler. I was like, you know what? He came up with a solution. Instead of me wilding out here, maybe I should get up out of the country for a couple of weeks so I can calm down. So that's the moment. That's when I really started getting my passport, putting myself in a position where I can travel. As far as the PUA coaches, man, they are a joke to me, dog. I love roasting them, going back and forth. I'm like, yo, I'm not mad at you for your hustle. If you want to keep manipulating guys until your little sales funnel, that's cool. Right. But I don't bleed green, man. I bleed red, bro. I'm really trying to help other black men. Because truth be spoken, we all we got. So if we fix each other, we fix the whole community.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it, man.
And it's not just black men. You know, I have a special love for black men because they are the muse of society. But I have a love for men in general, white, black, Asian, or whatever, because there are a lot of white men that are going through a scheme of affliction. They're suffering.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh, they out here.
Right, the white men out here, they're catching it too. So,
in Colombia. I've heard some of the worst stories ever from Canadians. They were like, they lost it all. They have the worst divorce laws in I think Canada, and those white guys lose it all. I think one white guy told me he went from 82 properties to like 12 after a divorce. He was in real estate. So yeah, they catch your hell left and right too.
What are some of the stories that they are telling you? And what did you think about the latest thing with the Dale Curry situation?
Oh yeah, that Dale Curry situation was pretty difficult, man. Because
let me update a little bit. Hold tight. All right, so Eric, what did you think about what Aaron Ferris said about all these different scenarios going on? What's your take on what Aaron said?
I mean, Aaron's correct, man. You know, it's just it hits us in different ways, but it all comes back to the same answers. Like, yo, man, this is not it. You know, brothers get here from different angles. You know, like I said, Chris said he went through something with the wife that he was married to. Myself, I went through something with the woman from the United States that I was dealing with, and Aaron was like, yo, he just laid it out. Every brother is going through the same thing. They express it in a different way, but they all coming to the same conclusion. Like, no, bro, this ain't what United States is not where it's at. If you're looking to have a relationship with a woman here. And even the ones that are here from other countries, they come here and recognize the environment and they take advantage of it. So
what do you mean by they take advantage? Explain to the audience.
Because they come here, they come from patriarchal countries where they understand that there's action, there's consequences for their actions. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, they can come here and they acquiesce to the environment and there's no consequences. So they become unhinged and they do what the women do here. And a lot of them see the environment too, because they look like coming from their country, they had to compete. Remember what I was saying earlier about you being a 3, 4, 5 in their country and they come over here? Well, now they're over here and they're a 5, 6, 7, or 8, maybe a 9. Mm-hmm. And they're getting all these simps, so it's kind of that are coming to them throwing money that they weren't getting in their own country.
Right.
So once again, they acclimate to the environment.
So it sounds like to me that simps are changing the ecosystem when they travel abroad. Because, yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, very much so. But see, there's a consequence for that because now in the environment that we're in, simps can't save you. We're going through this economical crisis. We're going through this spiritual crisis. You're going through this financial crisis. And now you're seeing everybody looking for cover. That strong, independent, I don't need a man. Oh, that's real quiet. You have a couple of them that are doubling down, but for the most part, they got real quiet about that. So that mantra that they've been chanting for the last 50 years has gone out the window. Mm-hmm. But see, the men that they need now, those men have realized their worth, and a lot of them are walking away. So,
well, yes, many are walking away, and it's groups like BMO and these programs that we have are more or less give men options outside the contextual framework of the United States. Let's finish listening to what Aaron Ferris said real quick. Hold tight. That's a lag. I don't know what's going on with this. Can you guys hear it?
Not yet.
Push play.
All right, hold on.
Male patterns because he's not standing on male patterns, male principles. I want you to talk about passport simping real quick, and then we're going to leave the show. But before we leave, guys, please get the likes up. If you haven't donated, please donate to $7Smalls or hit me up on PayPal because these shows are time consuming as I'm a licensed therapist. And I really enjoy helping empower these brothers. And then also, if you don't have any money to share my content. That'll be the way that you can pay me. Help me get to 2,000 at some point. Help me get to 10,000. Help this channel grow so the men like me, Aaron Ferris, and Chris Strongheart we can work together as brothers to empower other men. But I want you to talk about passport simping, because a lot of men are messing the game up because they don't understand that a woman and her hard drive is all the same. Let's talk about the passport simping real quick, brother.
Man, it's funny, man, because I had a conversation with a friend of mine this morning, about that very subject, passport simping. And we was trying to figure out, like, why is this happening? Because guys be actually falling out over women out here. And it's like, it's the fact that it's like when you travel, man, most of the time you go and date a certain woman in the States, you dating 4, 5s, and 6s, and then you take that, you get your passport, you travel to another country, now you're dating 8, 9s, and 10s. So it's a little difference. You know, you gotta be able to handle a woman's beauty, man. You gotta hypnotize yourself and be like, okay, I know she's beautiful, but the game's still the game. Like you said before,
right.
Mm-hmm.
They are hardwired DNA. They want protection. They want provision.
Yes,
they
sir.
want to come up. That's the way women are. I don't care how much they like you at the time. Right. You know how women are. So, yeah, some guys, man, they lose it. Like I said, I've seen friends fall out over women here in Colombia. Women that are available for everybody. So,
Eric, what's your take on what Aaron said? And Chris, have you ever seen a situation when men travel abroad and they have fallen out over women?
Yeah, he's 100% correct. You know, I said it earlier about the beauty deficit in the United States and men coming from the United States coming overseas and having an overload. That's why you need somebody to help guide you. But these dudes are coming straight wired from overseas, from the United States overseas, and they have no filter, no frame of reference, no understanding, and they get overwhelmed. And a lot of times, you know, we haven't had it in Brazil, at least on the trips that I've been on, because there's such an abundance of women and everybody likes what they like. But I can see that because dudes, they do the same thing here. So if you don't have that degreasing process, then you're going to do the same thing you're doing overseas. Dudes are fighting over the same chick in the States. You going overseas and now you seeing 9s and 8, 9s and 10s that you're interacting with. Then you go into simp mode to the 10th power. And you fighting over a woman overseas and fighting over a woman overseas. But see, that's that scarcity mindset.
Scarcity mindset, right.
They take it overseas and they think, oh my God, that's the only attractive woman I ever seen. And she give me all kind of play and stuff. Oh my God, it's never happened to me before. Ooh, and they act crazy and stuff. But see, the guys in those countries, and they see that all the time because they are in a beauty abundance, whereas we are in a deficit. You know, Lizzo is supposed to be fine. Man, no, thank you. I'm just going to leave it at that. No, thank you. But when you come from a Lizzo to, what's her name? Amara Lagrana? What's her name?
La Negra.
When you come from a Lizzo to that, bro, and that's abundant. That is very abundant in a lot of these countries.
Right, especially in Salvador Bahia. And we're going to show some picture, guys, in a few minutes, but I need you guys to get the likes up. I need you to share this content. Guys, listen, as soon as y'all share this content, Jamal said you fat shit. As soon as you share this content, I'm going to show you the pictures from Deacon Eric Spencer. He's going to give y'all a critical expose of how Afro-Latin women look, especially the ones from Salvador Bahia. And my dear friend, Black Girls Getting Their Shit Together, she's an Afro-Latina. She's actually Afro-Panamanian. If you're still listening, dear, pop in if you want to, and you can talk about the Afro-Latin culture as well. But the degreasing of the American male is important because, as Eric said and Chris said, and I've always said it, many Black men in America, and also American men, have very low self-esteem. And when they go abroad, they mess the game up. They mess it up horribly.
Yeah.
Jamal funny. But guys, if you like what we're doing, please hit the Cash App. Hit Cash App $7 Smalls. I'm grateful to be monetized, but YouTube be killing the brother with these monetization. They be hitting me in the head, man. They take about 30%. So when you get the time, please Cash App $7 Smalls. I'm grateful for the show, and I'm grateful for those that are listening. When you guys share the content, let me know by hitting 1. And I got pictures I want you guys to share. But before I show you the pictures, share the content, all right? Because we want to more or less trigger the algorithm. All right, so what was the question, Eric? I got sidetracked a little bit. Jamal threw me off, man.
Brothers fighting over women overseas.
Right, fighting overseas. So, Chris, what have you experienced? You've been to Brazil about 5 times, Chris. Have you lost friendships because men were fighting over women overseas?
Well, no, actually, no. I've actually, I guess I could say, gained friendships, out of going down there, man, because it's just like you have brothers, they just be like, oh, man, you want to talk to her? You want to go meet her? Oh, bro, I'll bring her over to you. Like, them dudes out on the beach, man, they be like, oh, you want to sit down? You want a chair? You want a beach? Hey, you want me to bring her over? Which one? Point her out. You just be like, oh, man, y'all so generous out here. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You know what I mean? So as far as within the group, we haven't had any issues like that because, like you said, man, there is greatness everywhere. Your choice of young lady that you want to deal with is out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you got all different shapes and sizes. So ain't nobody really fighting like that. You know what I mean? There's no need to carry that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? That bring that energy from the States over into Brazil, down in South America. You don't really need to even do that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, or like Eric was saying, man, I've never really experienced brothers fighting over girls down there. I know brothers would get excited, and I'll be like, bro, this is the average. You know what I'm saying? This is their average type of chick down here. Like Eric, you know what I'm saying? Like I said it before, some brothers won't even make it out the airport. You know what I mean? They just be like, you know what I'm saying? They be like, this is the airport? I'm like, bro, this is the airport. Relax, though. You ain't even got to the beach yet. Because remember the first time we met up, we was chilling down at the spot when we was eating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had, what's his name? BB's. And brothers was just kind of like, oh, man, the airport. And like I said, I was like, bro, calm down. Just relax. That's the main thing I was telling the brothers who never been there. I just was like, family, relax. Just calm down. You know
Chris,
what I'm saying?
Chris,
you don't, huh?
On that point, Red Pill Awareness said, I think a lot of it is hyped up, exaggerated lies about traveling. What's your take on that, Chris?
Drop the link. Let them come on up. Let them come on up.
I'm going to drop the link in a minute. I want the Captain Observer to come on. I'm going to drop the link in a minute.
All right, well, I'll talk about it.
But shout out to Red Pill Awareness. He's a cool brother. He's definitely supporting my channel. Shout out to him. But we're going to have a couple of guys to come up in a few minutes when I show the picture. But listen, Snuggles, if you want to see the pictures, dude, you got to share the content. Share the content. And as soon as you guys share the content, I'm going to drop the picture. We're going to see Deacon Eric Spencer up here. I know y'all want to see the picture. So when y'all share, when everybody share, I'm going to share. But sharing is caring. So as soon as y'all share, I'm going to share, all right? So share the content with at least 3 to 5 people, and then we're going to drop the links. We're going to have a discussion, and then we're going to end the show. All right, so D7, so Snuggles said, I want to see pictures of Black women in Latin America. I want to see if your young men know what you are talking about, or you're just calling mixed people Black.
See, hold up. Let me get some of that real quick, because see, that's the whole problem right there.
Right.
Nobody no Black person in the United States is 100%.
Right.
So we're mixed people. We're all mixed people.
Right.
If you are a descendant in the United States of ADOS,
right.
I guarantee you got some Indian in your tree.
Right.
I guarantee you.
And white.
Indian, especially coming out of North Carolina. Got some Indian, someplace somewhere. Because I got it on both sides, on my father's side. So that mixing stuff, you're mixed people. No, you don't have no problem with Halle Berry. And Halle Berry, mama is white. But where is she at? Black. Okay? So, like Chris said earlier, these social constructs, look, man, that's only in the United States. They know their lineage. We don't.
Right. Everybody's mixed. I'm 5% white, even though I'm mostly African Nigerian. I got 5% admixture with European blood. I mean, everybody see, what confuses a lot of people, Eric, they go by the 1 drop rule. But everybody has an admixture. I promise you go to your bloodline, you'll find Native American and some white blood. Chris too.
Yeah.
At least 5%, anywhere from 5 to 10%. I think the lead attorney said he got at least 18% European. I think he said Scandinavian, So you can't always go by what's the phenotype. The phenotype is what you see. The genotype is what's in your bloodline. But if you go into the actual genotype, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what's in your bloodline. So a lot of times people look at just the outside. When I show you guys these pictures in a few, you're going to be shocked. D7 said, Do you think that local men believe U.S. simping is spoiling the Brazilian women or threat the Brazilian patriarchy? What's your take on that, Eric?
Man, once again, bruh, there's more women than men to begin with. More women than men. Those men are so used to seeing attractive women that it doesn't faze them.
Right.
Those men are not threatened by us. If anything, they're going to give you the real game about the women there. But because there is a scarcity of men there, and we're a higher status, then they don't really care.
Right.
It's not like that. See, that's what I'm saying. That's that mentality that they have in the States. Oh, they hating on you. Man, them dudes down there, it's so many attractive women. Bruh, they are not intimidated by us being there. Matter of fact, the simping stuff, they laugh at you because they tell you don't have to do all that. The locals will tell you, look, man, you ain't got to do all that. It's this and this, that. But see, once again, you trying to play the away game with home rules. You don't know because you never been. That last night when we were at the going away party, it was more women in there than men. And like the woman said, she said, look, why aren't y'all approaching us? We're ready to go. And, we explained to her, like, look, we can't do that because in the United States, that could put you in jail. And she was perplexed as when we were telling her this. She was like, wait a minute. If you approach a woman and say, hey, I like you, I'm interested in you, let's go. You can go to jail in the United States. And we told her yes. And she looked dumbfounded. She really didn't understand that concept because in her culture, it's like, Fleece Johnson. I like you.
I see you.
But see, on the flip side, they're with it because that's what they want. They want you. I want you. Let's go.
Right. Very passionate. Tim Howell is correct. Black people in America are mixed people. If Black people go to Africa, they will be considered mixed. Most of them don't have, right. So I created a term, Chris and Eric called, I said that Black people in America, and I only like using that word Black because Black is a spurious concept. You can't measure Blackness. So I created a term because there are some people that say, well, you're not African. I said, okay, well, fine, I'm gonna flip it for you. I call people in America Americans of the African diaspora. And so what I mean by that, we were born in America, but our roots reside in Africa. Because some people are more or less conflicted with the terminology. So I said, okay, fine. We are Americans of the African diaspora because my bloodline, I'm 43% Nigerian. I think the other percentage is Cameroon, Congo. Then there's Ghana. Then there's Senegal, Mali, and then 5% British. I'm 5% white. And so you can't always go by what you see. You will be surprised what's in your bloodline. And we're gonna see all the pictures in a minute. But when you guys share the show, then hit 1 so I can show you guys the picture. I want you guys to see the pictures. And please donate to Cash App $7 Smalls. Thank you, Gail, for being so kind. She's so sweet. I love Gail. Red Pill Awareness said, I'll make sure if I take care of this page, I'll put the video in 8 groups on Facebook. So I'll make sure I take care of you. I'll take care of you for money. Thank you, Red Pill Awareness, brother. I love you, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I'm trying to grow the channel. We need men like brother Deacon Eric Spencer and Chris Strongheart to help Black men become degreased because Black men are making themselves a fool. Teddy Pendergrass said it better than me. He said the whole world laughing at you, silly fool. And that's what happens when Black men go over abroad because they don't know what their worth is, and because they have such a low self-esteem, the simping really gets the best of them. All right, so hold tight. What did Tim say? Hold tight. Global Go-Getter said, when I was in Brazil, I got nothing but love for the brothers and the females. Facts. Yeah, they're great people. You're right, Global Go-Getter. You're right. Snuggle said they got the color of the rainbow in Brazil, the Latin countries. Right, they do. They're very melanated. Penaway Boy said melanated. Yeah, I can't keep all these chats. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys the pictures in a minute, and I'm going to finish playing what Aaron said. But I'm going to give you guys a teaser. And so hold tight. Hold tight. Let me remove Deacon Eric Spencer around. I don't know if I can see the later or not. Maybe it needs to be condensed. I'll don't know what's going on. Anyway, hold tight. That's a picture of. Can you see it? Can you guys see it? If you can see it, hit 1. Chris, can you see it? If you can see it, hit 1. Can you see the picture?
Yeah, I can see it. It's just like her head a little cut off though. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys? Can you see it, Eric? Hold tight. Can you see it, Chris?
Yeah, I can. I mean, we can see it. It's just that at the top, it's like it's cut off at her eyes.
Yeah. Anyway, it's hard to show the whole picture, but anyway,
we can tell. I mean, like I'm telling you, like if they don't want to travel, they don't want to travel. You know.
Right. So as you see in this picture, this young lady is definitely Brazilian. Anyway, I figured I need to condense it. It's showing up too big on the screen, but as you guys can see, these women are they are Brazilian. I apologize, guys. For some reason, it's showing up too big. But anyway, that was those women are Brazilians. Maybe I could show it in another screen or something. But those women are Brazilian women. If you saw it from the screen, they are Afro-Brazilian women. I apologize for that, guys. For some reason, it's showing up too wide. But those women are Afro-Brazilian. Chris, tell the people about this. Eric, tell the people about this picture. Hold tight.
If you just take us off off of
But anyway, Chris, Eric, so who was this young lady in the picture, Eric? It's blown up too big. I can't.
Okay, well, like I said, just a quick, I just give you a quick play-by-play. Basically, we went to Carnival, and during we went to Carnival in Rio. Rio is famous for the parade, the pageantry that they have with the samba schools, and this woman was just coming back. Her samba school had come through and performed, and when they walk out of the runway area, they come back around through the back so they can get back to their dress rooms and whatnot. And I just happened to see her, and I just asked if I could have a photograph with her. She said sure. Mm-hmm. So I took a picture with her. As you can see, I have on my Carnival shirt that they give you when you buy the ticket for the parade, and I have my ticket and stuff. But as you can tell, we got the same complexion, and features and stuff. And if I had her with me in the States, there'd be no doubt about that she was black.
Right. The only difference would be her language.
Right.
That's the only difference. It would be the language. And Eric, how do you see the more melanated Brazilians more in Rio de Janeiro, or do you see them more in Salvador Bahia?
Well, you see them all over, but you have to go. See, well, a lot of guys, when they go to Rio, they go to Copa. Mm-hmm. Copa is the tourist spot. And once again, knowing the environment, Copa is the tourist spot, and in certain tourist spots, you're not going to see a bunch of Afro-Brazilians. You're not going to see a bunch of melanated people, especially in the restaurant
Well, he ain't talking. I thought he was gonna talk. Hold tight. All right, so Eric, I thought he was gonna talk. All right, so Eric, real quick, talk about Dr. Neil Turner. What do you know about Dr. Neil Turner? And
well, first off,
read from his book and tell me why it's relevant.
First off, you got to set it up like this. We got to talk about Dr. Neil Turner and his book.
Right.
His book.
The book, which is Black American Men and Brazilian Women.
Uh-huh.
So basically, the book is about his experiences from him leaving the States and what he had to go through. He happened to meet a woman in Salvador that he wasn't looking for.
Right.
And when he met her, it hit him so hard that he couldn't leave her. And it wasn't a simp, it was an energy thing with him. And he was going through a divorce. And he chronologizes his experiences and what he knows along the way. He tells her what, the struggle to get to there and everything and whatnot. But now he's living in Salvador Bahia. But basically, the book, it talks about how African-American men are socialized one way and Brazilian women are socialized another way. And then when they come together, it's such a natural attraction because for us, we're more accommodating. We're willing to work with you and whatnot. And with them, they're looking for somebody to be more accommodating, but they still want you to be the man in the relationship and have that synergistic relationship. Right. And for him, it hit him hard. And he just, he talks about that and how Black men are probably one of the most sought out men in the world just because of that feature with us. Unfortunately, it was socialized into us, but there's a plus to it because when we do, we're not all about the machoism because a lot of things they do in these other countries that there's no way they could get away with here. You assault on a female or some kind of other charge and stuff and everything, but in those countries, it's normal. So for us, it's a meshing. And Dr. Turner, he explains that in his book. And it's very interesting to hear his perspective about it because he's telling you his struggles, but he's also sharing with you his insight. And for me, that book was what really kind of prompted me to say, hey, I can find my wife in Brazil, because he went through the struggles and he did it. And that was before I even really got into traveling into Brazil. That was just me having to come across his book and watching his videos and hearing him speak. But now for me, like I said, Salvador is more my speed because it has that more laid back feel to it, but it's still a big city. And the ethnic draw there, because it was a port for the slaves and stuff, is very strong for me. I feel very calm there versus Rio. I like Rio too, but Rio is like kind of like, going to Vegas versus Salvador is a little bit more laid back and whatnot. But it's interesting when I tell guys that, hey, if you're looking for a wife, you need to get this guy's book because the same thing applies to other countries as well. We're sought after because of that nature that we've been socialized to. It doesn't make you weak. It just makes your energy and their energy a lot better. Yeah, and it doesn't help that you're a higher status, but at the same time, it's something about it. And I've seen it happen to brothers I know. I know brothers that met a woman and it just hit them, and they're still together, and one's getting married here in a couple of weeks. So it happens. Everything is not about tricking. And to be honest with you, a lot of guys are looking for wives. They're still wanting to be in traditional relationships. They just don't have much to pick from in the States because a lot of these women are traditional unless it suits them. Just be honest about it. Nobody wants to be honest. You want to pick and choose which scripture you want to pull from. You want to pick and choose which thing you want to pay for. You want to pick and choose which thing that you want to pull from the table. All that benefits you. So why should I even entertain getting married? Because there's nothing in it for me.
Nothing.
Benefits, and I get nothing from it. So it's a bad deal. And I chose to walk away.
And that's what's going to have to be done. Being mean about it, like you said, because it's nothing in it for men. I don't understand. It's just suicidal, man. I don't understand that. There's no happiness and it's not fair.
Well, I mean, for me, my parents were together 51 years. So that's the household I grew up in. And my problem in moving in the Matrix was that I was going by what I modeled from my parents for 51 years. Where the most
mine did too, but our grandmas didn't have 6 social media. She didn't have 2 cell phones. Grandma didn't have access to 5 different things that she could look for attention and seek attention and validation from strangers compared to her husband. So there was a difference then. Now the modern women, they get dopamine, urges off of keeping up with all the extra things that go on in the world than their husband.
All that stuff is supported by the government here in the States. You can have a dopamine hit in Brazil, but if you don't have no food on the table, you're gonna get off that dopamine hit and go get that beans and rice. See that's part of the dynamic there. They need each other.
Hold on for a minute, brother. So Snuggles say in other cultures of men, do they call it tricking if men pay for women to give them pleasure?
No. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Matter of fact, in Brazil, and I've heard Colombia too. In Brazil, they know that there's so many women that they understand that you're gonna step outside the marriage as long as they're getting the benefits. They understand that because it's just too many.
Right.
The same thing happens in Colombia. They think that you're cheating when you're not, because there's so many women there. So they don't call it tricking. Matter of fact, and sometimes they're like, okay, hey, that's just something they do. As long as you don't bring it home to me or put it in my face, I'm cool with it. It's only in the States where they want to shame you for it, and it's just another tool that they want to cajole you back into a certain lane. But now if I'm tricking on you and taking you shopping and taking you to get your Birkin bag and your hand nailed, is it tricking then?
Hey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it ain't tricking then. Is it tricking if I take you out to eat and I don't even get a good night kiss, and then you going back home to Thugnificent and he blowing your back out? Is that tricking?
and just
hold up, no, because we gonna talk about it. Because see, that's
talk about it.
Because they don't want to
talk to me.
Talk to me.
Let's talk about it.
Talk to me.
I don't get nothing in return. That's tricking. No, brother, that's a bad deal. So you know what?
Right.
If you want to call it tricking, then call it tricking. But I think it's a fair exchange. You getting what you paid for, correct? All right. Not the possibility of something, not maybe something, or I get you strung along or whatnot. You getting what you paid for. You satisfied, they satisfied.
Right. And sex is not seen as transactional in Brazil,
right,
as it is in America. It's not really transactional. It's just part of the culture.
Right.
Women here make it transactional. There is just part of the culture, Right. Snuggles said to the man on the panel, how will people like Gail Locker find Snuggles, please. Gail got a man. Gail's a pretty woman. She ain't worried about a man. Gail got a man. Good women like Gail will be wifed up soon. So I hope Snuggles, are you a man or a woman? I always wonder about you.
Man, Snuggles.
I love Snuggles though.
That's a young lady. That's Snuggles.
And just to add to what you said about people needing each other overseas, and this is the main difference. This is in most Hispanic countries. If you're not in the European world, if you don't have a man, there's not a social program that's going to catch you like in the United States. There's no such thing as like a Social Security, WIC, Medicaid, food stamp. If you can't cut it, you got to go out there and sell some of that monkey. That's what you got to do.
That's it.
That's what you got to do. So the man has become invaluable in these countries because messing with somebody's man in a Hispanic culture, that's the difference. You taking food out my mouth, and I might kill you for that.
Yes. They don't play that.
Right.
Competition.
Right. And they're not looking at it as, oh, you slept with my husband. No, you trying to take the way I feed my family from.
Right.
And that's how that's why you people say, oh, Latino women are no. I said, nah. they look at it as a business move. Like, I got to hurt this woman because I might have to go out here and sell some monkey. No, I got to.
Exactly. But see, you can't tell that. You can't tell that to the women in the States. They think, oh, they just want you for a green card. I said, well, hell, you just want me for my green money. So what's the difference?
Oh, I like that. Good job.
Well, that's because in the States, they know who their real daddy is. Their real daddy is government. They worship and kneel and submissive to daddy government. That's why the majority of them is Democrat. I'm sorry, let me not.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it.
Anyway, Ricky Howard Brodsky says, "Say it, Chris."
He said, "Talk to me." Am I right? I say.
Oh my goodness! All right, guys, we're about to shut it down in a minute. This conversation has been powerful. Anybody else want to come on the platform? I was looking for the casual observer. I want to hear his perspective, but red pill awareness. You bring a lot of insight, and Brother Roger, you both guys are bringing a lot of great insight. And I have this mic set up at some point. I didn't have time to set up today. I've been so busy cutting grass and doing notes and seeing clients, man. But I love the brotherhood. I want to see you guys win. And you know, it's unfortunate when you hear guys like Eric and Chris, he's a millennial, and Roger and Red Pill Awareness saying they don't see the benefit to getting married here in America. I want one of the women to come on the panel because it's a men's panel, but I want Mickey Red Crates. Come on the panel, dear. I love your insight. Pop in. Call in. I want you to talk to the brothers. You know, like Gino Jennings said, talk to me. We want to hear you. We want to hear you vent your query, Red Pill, Mickey Red Creeks. Please come on, dear, and more or less get some feedback from the brothers. So come on before we shut it down. One of the females, I want one of the ladies to come in. And Gail, you're right. It is a transaction. It's definitely a transaction. I want one of the ladies to come in, Snuggles or Mickey Red Crates. Click on the link and ask the brothers some questions. You guys are sending questions. And then also, guys, please donate to Cash Out $Salesman. Guys, I haven't got a Cash Out yet. I love you guys. But come on, guys. This is good content. You guys can donate to Cash Out $7 Smalls. You got Deacon Eric Spencer. I mean, the man is brilliant when it comes down to passport travel. You got the young crab over here, sitting on the beaches of Copacabana. You get washed up. You get washed up every now and then.
Do right now.
And so we got Mickey Red. Thank you, dear. She's popping in. So Mickey, you can take the avatar. We want to see your face.
You want to see your face?
We want to see your face. Well, the man want to see your face. There's no avatars. I'm gonna cam up. So you got the cam up there.
We don't bite, hon.
We ain't gonna bite. Come on, cam up. Come on, cam up. But go ahead and ask the question, Mickey. Go ahead, dear.
All right, I'll cam up.
Right.
I mean, I really don't really see a problem with it. You go, you like what you like, you go where you go.
So is it disheartening when you hear men talking about traveling abroad because they gotten what's called a schema affliction? When you hear men saying they're traveling abroad because that schema of saying women here don't value me, and I fear if I get married in America that I'll get taken advantage of, or marriage really doesn't offer anything because once she say I do, she pulls the mask off. When you hear that, how does that make you feel as a woman?
I mean, that's not nothing good to hear. It don't make you feel good, but at the same token, I'm not every woman. I know there's good and bad, and there's good women out there, there's bad men out there. Half the time we just didn't pick wrong. But you gotta go and do what's gonna be best for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they feel like the women that they've been around aren't celebrating them, aren't submissive to them, then they have the right to go wherever they want to go, where they feel that they're gonna be needed. My only issue is just like y'all say, don't call all black men dogs, this, that, the third. Y'all shouldn't do that to all black women, because every black woman is not an angry black woman. Every black woman is not ratchet.
No.
Exactly. But I feel like that's the constant narrative, and that's what agitates me. You should go. You deserve to be happy. You deserve, one thing that I am glad about this manosphere is that a lot of men are waking up and having standards for themselves. You shouldn't want a woman that treats you bad. You shouldn't want a woman that's gonna, fight you every step of the way. If you where you are at, if that relationship isn't serving you, isn't feeding you, then you don't need it. Period. Man, woman, or what have you. And if going to Brazil or going wherever, if you meet someone and you connect, I mean, love is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Love is a beautiful
Well,
thing.
what I'll say to that is just like, what I mean, we not gonna get up here and like try to bash you or nothing, but my thing is just like this, like you said you don't like the way it feels, or kind of like how it kind of feels like we're making kind of like a perception amongst or over all black women. That's not the case, because we'll get up here and just be like, not all, but I mean it seems like it's a vast majority. But the thing is, you talk about the perception. Well, what's been the perception of black men for like the last 40 to 50 years? You know what I mean?
That's what I said. That's why I said it's kind of like the same thing when they would say all black men is dogs. I wasn't one that said that. I might.
No.
Hey, dogs is loyal. Don't say that. I know like. No, I'm just playing. But nah, that ain't never been my stilo. I don't have to lie to kick it. I ain't never looked at all. That's the thing that I hate about our race, that one person is supposed to represent. This is what I always felt as a child. I don't know if anybody can concur, but as a black person, you're kind of made to feel like the race depends on you, and if you make a mistake or if you do, you know what I mean? Oh, well, how would that look? Because I don't. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's called when a black man dates a white woman, he's a traitor. But when a black woman dates a white woman, she's celebrated. Hold on, no. Yes.
I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that.
With that, then you're in the first stages of grief. You're in denial.
No, I'm not in denial.
Hold on.
I've been dealing with that. I seen that. All my friends were mixed. I don't want to hear about black.
I know, but you don't want to hear about what I'm telling you. What it's stated.
Phase. Like if you grew up on the West Coast, this whole black man being with a white woman, that doesn't phase you.
Right.
That doesn't phase you. I'm Gen X, so all my friends, they mamas was white.
Well, I'm Gen X too, and most of my friends' mama was black, and in the South, that's taboo.
That's taboo, but exactly that goes.
And most black people came from the South, so and we're not going to talk about that. The YouTube. I mean, look, you had black women staying up all night because Meghan Markle got married to Prince Harry, and she wasn't black until then. But as soon as Tyrese said something about his Jamaican, Ecuadorian, Afro Latina, calling her a queen, he got roasted. Yeah. So every time Serena got her, she married a man that had a tenth of her value. And she got him a fine, strong white man.
And he let her for 3 years get disrespected.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's talk. But as soon as Omar Hardwick and his wife are out and about, it's a problem. Oh my God, he dated her. She looked like a man. Blah 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 blah. But she was with him from the beginning when he had nothing. See, that's what I'm saying. Black men, we not dumb. I'm a Gen Xer too. I've been through all the BS. I know better. I seen it. So see, you can't run that game on me anymore.
What game is running?
The game is do as I say, not as I do. That's the game. And black men are saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. And we're going to walk away from it because it's a bad deal.
And I want to add to what you said. And, one of the questions was asked, do you feel a loyalty to the black women? And this is where I get caught up, because I mean, if you're planning to live in the United States or have ties to the United States, I mean, having a kid with somebody who's not black, it just brings confusion. Me personally, that's what I think. That's why I feel so tied to black women, because it's like, okay, I know y'all kooky, most of y'all, and y'all ain't really got my best interest at heart. However, if I do decide to divest, let's say that, and then you get with a white woman, an Asian woman, again, My thing, I'm looking at it as the kids. These are going to be some confused ass children. That's what holds me to black folks.
Well, but your point is, you said black people. Okay, we just talked about that. I just showed you evidence that black people are everywhere. Are you talking about you're loyal to 8OS women, or are you just talking about the complexion?
No, well, just the black women, black people as a whole. I can't swear off black people because I'm thinking like if I reproduce,
nobody's swearing off black people. No, look, brother, I just showed you pictures of women that were my complexion and darker.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's like the experience because we share the same common traumas or experiences, no matter where you are in the United States. You know what it feels like to be black and be in the United States. And so that's something, that's something that keeps me from really exploring my options more than I already had.
Nah, that novelty wore off for me about 2 years ago. That shit was over 2 years ago.
And to your point, they see our struggle and they are inspired by it because they go through the same thing. But you don't know it because you've never been there or you talk to them. See, that's the thing that people don't get. We are inspirational to them. That's the reason why they're calling themselves Afro-Brazilian now, whereas before they were Brazilian, because they're making distinctions because they see the stuff, the differences of them being treated a certain way. We inspire them.
Right.
And there's more of them than it is of us. And when you talk about shared experiences, they got the same thing. They share the same thing.
Hold tight, Eric. Thank you, Red Pill Awareness. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the $10 super chat.
Brother, I love the show, bro. I love what all of y'all are doing, man. This is healing, man. Why you think I'm up tonight?
Well, listen, we love the brotherhood too. Eric and Chris are actually great examples for the degreasing of the American male as it relates to traveling abroad and getting their needs met. And see, as a clinical therapist, I decided to do this show because I know there are a lot of men that are suffering in silence. You're not going to find a clinical therapist that's licensed. I mean, I'm a licensed therapist that's going to do this, but I had to more or less take this show and finesse it with art imitating life. If I just gave you guys clinical concepts and clinical terms, it would bore you out. But I had to use terms like degreasing, which, in broader clinical sense would be cognitive restructuring. And so every man needs to be degrees. I have Mickey Red Cates on to let her see and understand why men are defecting from America, why men are frustrated, and why men are looking for women that are feminine. We understand, like Eric said earlier and Chris said earlier, we understand that women are universally the same everywhere you go. But the difference in women abroad versus women in America is that women abroad have been conditioned to honor, love, submit, and to respect their men. American women don't respect their men like they should. And I believe that every man should have an option to go where he's celebrated versus tolerated, and also to go where he's seen as a man instead of being seen as a commodity. Men get their best outcomes where they are celebrated, loved, honored, and respected. The love currency for a man is honor and respect. That's his love currency. The love currency for a woman is the feelings, it's the eros love. So if a woman with the arrows from a man, she got to honor and respect him, something that unfortunately many of our women don't do. And also, guys, if for non-diagnostic clinical consultations, email me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com for a non-clinical diagnostic consultation. Some of you guys that are listening could have schema afflictions, and you need to learn how to remodify or to restructure that negative schema that you're dealing with. And more importantly, some of you have been mistreated so bad here in America, you need to know and understand why you are worthy of being treated better. We're going to sign off in a few minutes, but before we sign off, does anyone else want to come on the panel? And if not, we're going to start with Eric. Eric, why was this show so important? Female psychology and the degreasing of the American male. Because this is the third episode of Degrees. I got 4 more shows I'm going to do. But I wanted to do this one about the unconscious simp, and then we're going to talk about the conscious simp. And then Chris is going to come back, and we're going to talk about finance, currency. And I might get one master teacher to come on if I can, and we're going to have a powerful conversation about Bitcoin and also travel. But Eric, why was this conversation so important? And why should American men be degrees as it relates to simping in America?
Okay, well, I mean, it's important because men need to be degrees, because we've been programmed to be a certain way, to be subservient to women, and to not put ourselves first. That's just really what it is. United States has done a hell of a job painting this illusion that men are commodities. So we've taken the red pill, and more men need to wake up. Degrees, wake up, awakening, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, is going on, and it's here to stay. And it's a direct reflection of the way that men have been treated by people in the United States. And more men need to have this conversation. And obviously it's working.
It is working.
I mean, Kevin Samuels is powerful, but see, the effect of Kevin Samuels is he's just not one person. Well, how many Kevin Samuels is it? It's many. That's why you could call us Legion. You can't come at and attack Kevin Samuels, because there's going to be 100 behind him, and then behind that 100, there's going to be 1,000 that's not going to tell you nothing. They just going to moonwalk away from the community and do their own thing.
I know on my page on Instagram, it's 300 Kevin Samuels that follow me, so it's a lot of us.
So at this point in time, it's out. The Gen Xers I've already started to walk away. The millennials are making that transition, and we're not even talking about the Z's and the A's. They're not even interacting with young black girls at all. They're going straight to Becky, Marisol, Marlene off the rip. So, like I said, if you want to turn this thing around, Black Girl Magic better learn a new damn spell, because if not, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Chris Strong, why it's so important for American men to get degrees as it relates to dating and modern relationships, and also unconscious simping?
Well, as we've seen tonight, I mean, there's so many topics and issues that come with being under the we'll call it the mental shackle of what America has really done to you, all right, and how we have to deal with it in our supposed black culture, as far as everything that has been spoon-fed to us about how you're supposed to think, supposed to act, supposed to talk, supposed to walk, or you will not be successful with your own women. You know, it's a lot of things that have been pressed onto you as a young black man, and it's good to have a breaking away from that mentality by going to other places, visiting other countries, and seeing other cultures, right? It's something that you feel when you go there. So for brothers who may not completely understand it, it's just like you need to go there. You got to travel. You got to get out, because a lot of brothers they're voting with their passports. Like we said, you know, the Gen Xers, they're making their moves. The millennials, we're also following suit. And a lot of people say it's going to be up to the Z's and the A's to really see how this all is going to play out. Because you got up to 4 generations now of men who are just kind of like, we're not dealing with the nonsense anymore. And like we said earlier, it's not all, but the thing is that what we see being like permeated throughout the supposed culture is chaos and destruction. Who point to these great relationships where this black love is so strong to where it's just, you know, something that everybody can just put on their wall and say that's the example. It's rare. Okay, Beyonce and Jay-Z is rare. Sisters, y'all not Beyonce. Okay, I mean, y'all gonna have to stop comparing yourselves to celebrities and all this other stuff, because even in the celebrity realm, look at every time there's a relationship that breaks up, we always hear about it. We just heard about, I think it was an NBA player who just got divorced from his wife from another 16-year marriage that they had.
Tyson Chandler.
Now his wife walking. It's listen.
And it's happened in rapid succession.
It's speeding up, and that's the thing.
It's speeding up, right?
The black woman, check it out. We understand that y'all are just kind of like, oh well, it ain't all of us. That's great, but y'all need to start dealing with the ones that is not like that, or that are like that. Y'all need to start getting in there and policing each other up. I'm not saying that you're not doing it, but based off the results, we're not seeing it. You know what I mean? So there's something that needs to jump in there and be like, hey, y'all, let's correct this. Now, whatever y'all do, y'all work on it. Because like I've said before, I don't think it's gonna happen in my lifetime.
No, I don't see it.
And I'm not waiting around to see it. That's just me personally and how I'm moving. Okay.
Right.
So that's why it's so important for brothers to at least understand that if you want to stay here in the States, that's cool. Nobody's going to fight you and be mad about it. But do understand that you don't have to. That's the point of Black man's option, is that you understand that you can make major moves overseas and you don't have to sit here and deal with this so-called matrix. So
and Global Go-Getter is correct. This was coming with or without Kevin Samuels. You're correct, brother. Kevin Samuels just amplified it, but men have been talking about this for years.
Exactly.
And it's been brought to attention. He just amplified it because he got big at the right time. But some of the same things Kevin Samuels has been saying, I've said it, other men have said it in silence. He just said it publicly. So, you know, you're correct. I'm Global Go-Getter. It was inevitable. Snuggles, please come on. You know, we want to hear from Snuggles.
Snuggles ain't gonna show up. You know, we got love for Snuggles.
Snuggles, we would love to hear from you. You're more of an enigma. But come on, Snuggles, and chop it up for a few minutes. We're about to sign off. And so Red Pill Awareness. What did you get from the show? Why was it so vital? And how is this more or less calibrated you mentally?
Well, this show is enlightening because we need to have something about traveling. We need to be discussed. Guys don't know outlets who they can reach to. So I'm glad that this show is presenting itself, because a lot of us don't know who to vent to, and we want to go travel. So that's important. And then to see you guys, how y'all had the discussion, you guys been there, you know, the experience. So people need to know that it's another option than what they just put up with. Because you remember at one time where men were just told what we just have to deal with. Well, now it's no excuse. You can buy a passport and you can travel and you can go places. You can do things differently than what you used to do. And I think that's very important. That's why I think this is the new wave too, with the traveling. So that's why I'm loving it. I support it all day.
Right,
you know?
right. Well, we all for male empowerment. I've always said in the past, Red Pill Awareness, that a hopeless man is a broken man, and a broken man is a dangerous man. And you will be surprised how many men that actually talk to me in private in my clinical practice or in the clinical offices that I work in, talking about how they feel like they don't have an outlet. And a lot of times the therapists that do talk to them really don't understand their perspective from a masculine worldview. And so I count on the honor to serve you guys. You're not going to find a licensed clinical therapist, not too many Black red pill therapists in this space that are going to be sharing with you this kind of information. And that's why I think it's vital.
Connections too on that. I got 2 here in my area for you.
Thank you, brother. That's why I think it's vital for you guys to share the content, help the channel grow. The more you guys help me grow, the more I can help you grow. But like I said, thankful for men like Deacon Eric Spencer, my man Chris Strongheart. These guys, you know, Eric was here when I was, I don't know, 500 subs, 400. And we were in Brazil talking about it. I said, man, I'm sick of doing this mess, man. I said, it's too much work. But I told Chris about it in private. But, you know, there's an old song that's saying something inside so strong. I'm very fiery. I'm not a quitter. And I love to see men empowered. And so you guys help me help you by sharing the content. But also, guys, I haven't got a cash out today. So please give me a cash out. Please donate $7 Smalls. And then also, if you guys like the shirts, the fat meat is greasy. You know, Eric Spencer, we were going to ask.
Hey, Eric.
Hold tight. Because some of them don't believe that the fat meat is greasy. But the fat meat is greasy is a euphemism for saying, you know, that they don't believe that things are going to continue the way they believe. That they don't feel like the Black men are going to continue to stay in the condition that they're staying. So it's almost like a delusional disorder, or they're in severe denial. And so Eric and I are from what you call the 252, but also the 704. And I told Chris Keith, the designer, he designed the shirts. I told Chris to put the circles in it. FMIG, Fat Meat is Greasy, 2020. Fat Meat is Greasy. So I gave Chris. I'm the mind and Chris is the artist. And so many don't believe the fat meat is greasy, but we're going to talk about it before we even go actually sign off. Talking about the fat meat. Every time I see that, every time I see it, I start down laughing. Actually, we're going to look at the real now real quick.
Shame me about going to Thailand. You can't shame me about going to Africa,
right?
Portugal or Morocco.
Right.
Them days are over. They're over.
Right.
And unfortunately,
a lot of black women don't believe the fat meat is greasy. Right. But I'll tell you what, if I had fat meat, you'll find out for sure. Yes, I am from North Carolina. I am country, and I embrace all that. So,
I'm gonna use that. Damn it. The fat meat is greasy, but you know what? It goes back. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised.
every time I see that, man, I dial up. The revolution ain't gonna be televised, Eric, Spencer, because many don't believe the fat meat is greasy. And we're doing this. We're like the clarion callers, like Noah. Noah preached for hundreds of years and told the antediluvians that judgment was coming. And so you got men on the wall like Chris Strongheart and Deacon Eric Spencer and myself. We're trying to warn the good sisters that men are actually leaving. But some don't get it. Some don't believe it. Some don't believe the fat meat is greasy. And also those simps going abroad, they're messing up the ecosystem, don't believe that the fat meat is greasy as well. Because if you go over there doing the same thing that you're doing in America, those women will play you for a fool as well. Roger, real quick, brother, what did you get from this show? Why was it relevant? I can't believe the show's almost 4 hours. I got to start cutting these shows in 2 hours. But Roger, why was the show relevant? And tell me what you got from the show, brother.
I mean, from somebody who travels a lot, man, it was good to hear what these brothers had to say. Everything they had to say was on point, even though I've never been to Brazil. It's identical to other places like Colombia and Costa Rica and so forth and so on. One of the things that I will disagree, we are at the point of no return. The ball has already rolled. You can't stop this train. It's just, and I don't use the word community because this is not a community. This is where we just come together and kick it. This is not a community. The problem is just too far gone. Single motherism, overweightness. We're too far gone. And to think,
I agree.
And to think that we could fix this, listen. I will say this: Black people, and because my parents are from Panama, so I guess I'm not foundational. But Black people are a special type of people. And if anybody could pull this off, it's Black people. And I don't see it.
Right. It would take generations. It would
It
would take a de-evolution. It would take probably about 2 to 3 generations to get it back on par. And I don't see it like it's not getting better. It's getting worse from Dale Curry to Tyson Chandler to Jeff Bezos to Dr. Dre. Whether it's high profile to the middle class to the working class man, you see the same repetitive story. There's no honor among thieves, and with no fault divorce, men are saying, what's the benefit? Why would I get married after I work my behind off? I get no honor. If you get with a woman, she can choose to say, I'm not going to give you sex. I don't feel like it. And ain't nothing you can do about it. So you're basically a slave in your own house.
Right.
Mickey Red K, she said on that deal, look, you got a scheme affliction. Mickey got a scheme affliction.
Yeah, she big man.
I don't know what to think about.
But Mickey, listen. It's not the brothers. But listen. We're not saying that it's you.
It don't matter if you're saying it's me, but it's what you're saying. Like y'all have said, if you with your woman, you know what it takes to get her hot. If she ain't in the mood or whatever the case may be, you might not be in the mood. Every man don't have a high sex drive. Shucks.
I tell you what, when I get off that plane in Brazil, my sex drive go from 10 to 10,000. I go Super Saiyan in Rio. I go Super Saiyan in Rio. I can tell you that right now. There's no doubt about that. I stay in the gym. I'm 48. I all day, so I ain't got no problem with that. But I'm telling you right
now, we know you ain't got no problem ever ready. Yes, come on,
that's right. That's right.
He's a Scorpio too. Chris, and tell her Eric, you'll need
with y'all. Y'all is mad.
Tell him, Chris, you don't need any Capricornians either.
No.
But what else are you learning from these discussions? And Mickey Red, I'm glad you came on. And check, maybe you're correct.
It's like hella hurt.
Hold tight, dear. Hold tight.
I didn't know that.
Hold tight, dear. And checkmate, you're right. The fat meat is greasy phrase. It's something I've heard my grandparents say growing up. You're right. It's not new. It's a Southern colloquialism. But you ain't never heard in this space before Eric shouted it out. and I took it and ran with it. And then me and Chris, Eric was the quarterback. I was the tight end. And we took and we ran with it. So if you hear other brothers using this in this space, know that Eric said it first, even though it's a Southern term. I liked it and ran with it, and Chris, he did the artwork. So the fat meat is greasy because I'm trying to open men's minds up. I'm trying to open women's minds up because a lot of women don't believe that the fat meat is greasy, Mickey Red Cakes. And instead of them changing, they're deflecting. And so, yes, I get it. It is frustrating. It is hurtful that, men are saying I'm looking for love outside the confines of the United States. But at the same time, because look, if every woman got married, there'll still be 2 million women, black women, single. And so let me ask you a question. Are you willing to share?
Oh, I ain't sharing.
Okay.
We don't share. If you got something left to share, you a good one. We don't share.
All the love to give. I got
that's why you need to go on over to Brazil, buddy. Love. Give all that away.
Right. I'm going to Brazil. Be like Michael Jackson's going to be a thriller.
Uh-oh. Now you got to hit my part for me.
That's right. That's right.
Hit my part. I ain't mad at you though. You got it.
I'm not mad at you either, because I understand the dynamics. Like I said, I've been through I'm a Gen Xer. I know. I've been through all the stuff that we had to go through, the socialization, you not measuring up. But see, I'm on the other end of it, and I'm looking at the data.
Them not measuring up. Them not measuring up.
Well, the data doesn't say that.
It don't matter. Your data can show whatever you want it to show.
No. See, and that's the problem right there. You want feelings. We want.
Hold up, Mickey. Don't talk over the guest.
No. She's fine.
To speak. So what are you saying?
No, my saying is what we've been told doesn't match up with what we know. So as men, from a logical perspective, we're making a conscious decision to go with the facts instead of our feelings, because that's how we roll. And the fact of the matter is that we've been lied to. We've been deceived to be these great men, and we don't have any reward at the end of the line except for divorce, baby mama Terry, shout out to Mr. Palmer, and having our assets taken away from us, our kids taken away from us, and not having anything to show for it. That's what we know here and now. And it's on full display because of social media, because they're telling on themselves. So for us, we're walking away. Right. And it's not about just a sexual thing. It's about an overall esoteric feeling about black men in general and how we can heal ourselves, because ain't nobody giving a damn about us. I don't see anything about black boy magic. Your boys are reading at a 4th grade level.
That's true.
They're behind, but you won't have no campaign for them. But you want us to come back and save them after you went and got with dudes that ain't suitable to be fathers. But those are the choices that you made, and you can roll your eyes if you want to. But see, these are the facts. These are the things that we know.
Pumping and dumping, got baby stashed all out everywhere.
Like I said before,
every woman ain't pregnant.
Hold on, Mickey. Hold on.
51% of black men in America don't have children. I'm 48. I'll be 49 in November. I have no kids. No kids. And I know plenty of men that are Gen Xers with no kids. But yet when you see the statistics and you see 70-80% of our women are having children out of wedlock, but yet and still 51% of the men don't have kids, those numbers don't add up. But see, now we know. Now we know that you're having sex with the same dudes. Not only do we have statistical data, we have anecdotal, thanks to Save Your Life and the men that fathered 81 kids up in Tennessee, the 5 men that fathered 81 kids. So see, now we can compare real life data with real life experiences, and they match up. So from a logical conclusion, we're going to say that's the reality and that's a fantasy, and we're going to choose the reality. And now the reality is that you don't want good men. You want good men when you have gone through and done the things that you do that you feel like makes you feel good, and you want us to be on the back end to catch you when you fall. No, sir. No, thank you. Remember that saying back in the 80s and the 90s? me and my child is a package deal. Well, I tell you what, I got Amazon returned. No, thank you. No, thank you. No.
That's your choice.
Right.
Listen, Tim
to walk away. That's it.
Choice, but
That
you
need to
can't
be a
go
t-shirt.
no matter what country you go to. You can't go to no woman with that kind of heart on you.
Oh, yo, yes. Who said? No.
Way too much. And Mr. Coach, I thought you was objective and fair. This is not.
This is
I'm sorry that they did whatever they did.
How am I not being objective and fair? Well, hold up, Mickey.
Go find ours. Don't be hating.
Hold up, Mickey.
See?
She said I'm not objective and fair.
No.
Objective and fair.
No.
I gave her a chance to talk. How's that not objective and fair?
Because a hit dog holler.
Because he told the truth.
Right.
Behavior narcissist doesn't like the truth.
Right. It's very. I'm disappointed you, Mickey. It's very objective and fair. I gave you an opportunity to come on the platform and talk. I gave you an opportunity to hear what men are saying. See, that's the problem. That's why men don't allow some women to come on male platforms, because men can't handle the truth. And so, I gave you the opportunity to have a culture conversation. Eric spoke his truth. I allowed you to speak your truth, but you said I'm not fair.
She kept taking everything personal, make it seem like Eric was talking about her specifically. And I said to her, I just said, sis, if you're not the one, if you're not like that, then talk to the sisters who are like that. That's what I was saying. It's like you.
If it don't apply, let it fly.
Right.
Most of them,
he wasn't even talking about her.
We weren't talking about right. We weren't talking
if it don't apply, it should let it fly. But when usually they get so upset about the oil and the code, that means that something triggers them, that they has played a role in themselves, have done, or they has mistreated our brother some down the line in the course of time. That's what that is. And everybody was polite on the panel, and brother was saying, everything you said, brother, you should have had that on a t-shirt or a mug. Because it's
real. No problem.
Look, the bottom line
That's why we don't waste our time, bro. That's why we don't waste our time.
Exactly. The bottom line is she heard something that goes against her social programming. And she didn't like it. And she didn't like it coming from a black man.
Of course, but winter is here. She can die alone and get a dog or a cat, because that's where they'll be. Because the new world is changing, and all that rebellious and I'm the one and that narcissist behavior, they're losing, bro. I see it every day. And I hear many was that what nobody won't choose me. I can't get married. What did you do all the 30s and 20s? You was going with Pookies and Ray Rays and Wookiees now and rednecks too, and now nobody don't want you. Well, because you did so many things, and they don't want to deal with that, man.
Well, listen, it's unfortunate. I try to be fair and objective. Elmo could see I was being fair and objective. He's a dummy. And so I don't. Eric just kept it real. It's hard. It's a hard.
Kept it real.
But I was trying to be neutral.
It's a mental illness, man.
It's a schema affliction. That's exactly what it is. A schema is a fixated mindset, and the affliction comes from the fear of the unknown. And so we're trying to warn women to let them know what you need to do to get the men that you want. Eric has a right to say what kind of woman he wants. He's in good shape. He's a bachelor. He makes good money. He has no kids. He has a right to say that. I don't mind women saying, look, I don't want women say men are broke and dusty all the time. Men, we don't take it personally.
No, right.
You're a bum, you're broke, you're short. I'm 6'6".
I hear it all the time.
I'm 6'5", I'm 6'8" with shoes on. If I was a single man, I'd be a McDonald's All-American. but like I was saying, we don't trip. We put in work. Like, look at Roger on his bike putting in work.
Putting in work.
Look at me doing this show. Putting in work.
And he be on shows all the time, always on the bike. I'm like, this dude got to be an android or a robot. But hey, I got
my dumbbells and just start curling.
Look at Eric. Eric 49. He putting in work. And I'm doing these shows. I'm a licensed therapist. So that's why men are so reluctant.
Hey, look. The bottom line is that's the problem. They're used to. It's not what you say; it's how you say it. No, damn it. This is how I said it, and it is what it is. Them days are over with. We're not sugarcoating stuff anymore, and that's the problem. It's coming from a black man. It's based in fact, and they don't have any talking points. Why? Because the same record they play all the time, the shaming tactics. Your mama black. Well, I just showed you them women down there. They black too, like my mama. So they qualify. So
and I'm not accepting anything anymore. We're not letting you do the bare minimum and think that that's acceptable.
Right. So
well, Mickey Red Case, I love you, dear brother. I'm sorry you felt that way, but listen, when you come on this show, these brothers gonna keep it 100. This is a place to learn. So when you say I wasn't fair, I still don't get it. Because what Eric said.
Hey, look, the shaming tactic. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? There we go, bro. Look, I told you on cue. Who hurt you? Your mama black. All this other stuff on cue. On cue. It's on cue. We have heard that same sentiment before. What's Kevin saying was sign, insult, guilt, the need to be right. It's right there in the chat. But see, we're immune.
That's a narcissist. He deal with clinical mental, the D3 book. So you're a clinical therapist. You know that's the deflection of a narcissist mindset.
Yeah.
Well,
that is.
Well, listen, y'all gonna get it fresh off the press. I created the term. Kevin talked about sign language, but I created the term. I'm gonna do a show soon, and I call it DEAF. And DEAF stands for they deny, they become enraged, they accuse, and they do one or two things. They fight or they have fear. And so when a person is deaf, it's due to something called cognitive dissonance. And so, that's typical of what you see in a lot of women. They become deaf to the truth. Only thing Eric did was speak the truth. Kevin came up with sign language, but I'm the coach clinician. I created my own brand, and it's called DEAF. So you're going to hear me talking about DEAF. It's like the scheme of affliction. You're going to hear me talking about DEAF. They deny the truth. They become enraged. They accuse you of something that's not there, which is magical thinking, and they either do it out of fear or they'll fight you. So it's deaf. Many American women are deaf. Yeah. So if you hear somebody using this term deaf, you guys that know Red Pill Awareness, Chris Strongheart, Eric, Roger, that I created my own terminology as a licensed therapist. I like that. Kevin got sign language. I'm coming out with a new thing called DEAF. Deaf. Oh my God, deaf. So once again, deny, they become enraged, they accuse, and they fight because of fear. And it comes from a place of fear. And I'm disappointed in Mickey Rick case because I like Mickey, but at the end of the day, like the old saying, what you eat don't make me defecate. So
and I would say this, most of this problem is coming because, listen, ladies, no matter how many black men go overseas, somebody still gonna send for you. Somebody is still gonna call you beautiful. Somebody gonna tell you all the things you want to hear. The problem is the dudes who are leaving are the ones you actually want. The ones who that's the problem. And here's the thing: Chris Rock had this joke. He had this joke, and I didn't get it when I first heard it because I was like in my teens, but now I get it. The reason why black women are really mad about why dudes are going away overseas is because they can't do it because black women are not desirable around the world. They're just not. No man around the world is like, I want to get me with a black American woman. No, it just doesn't happen. They don't have the options that we have. Unfortunately, the way that they have tarnished their brand, because that's what they did, they have tarnished the black woman brand.
Facts.
All around the world. You are not desirable, not because of something black men did, but because something you did. That's the problem. If they were desirable, if Mr. Lee wanted a Keisha, if Enrique wanted a Keisha, if Hamed wanted a Keisha, if all these people wanted a Keisha, it'd be great. But these men are not, they don't want them. They don't want them. They don't want the overweight black woman with the fake hair.
Fake lashes.
To me. Woo! Red Pill Truth in the building.
Well, that's
it. I mean, like I said, if women were desired, black women were desired all over the world by all types of men, we wouldn't have a peep. But they know they can't pull it off like we pull it off.
Of course.
I'm here in Mexico, and I don't see Mexican man looking for Big Keisha. Keisha can't do nothing for Ernesto.
Facts.
Well, it's unfortunate,
No, it's not. Stop. No, it's not. See, that's the thing. No, it's not.
Listen to what I'm saying, Eric. No, not for you. I'm saying it's unfortunate because when people try to give them objective truth, they don't listen to it. They reject it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate they don't listen. You know, I bring objective guys on the panel that are going to keep it real. You guys are not going to sugarcoat it. You know, I'm kosher. It's raw and organic.
Yeah.
And so, you know, men are coming up here, you know, using something. Yeah, they can tell them how at the coach clinician. Yeah, when y'all use that terminology, make sure y'all reference that to coach clinician, man, because you know Negroes be still.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, make sure y'all say coach clinician, because I'm gonna do a couple of shows and put up their death, because you know, I like to keep it kosher. I don't like greasy meat. I want to keep my stuff kosher. So I came up with that today, death, because I didn't want to use sign language. I want to come up with my own brand, my own style, and I think this is something the brotherhood can use. So if anybody, you hear anybody using the word death, know they got it from the coach clinician. But yeah, Eric has been objective. Chris has been objective. Roger's been objective. In these spaces, it's a virtual barbershop where men gonna say what men really feel. And if you don't, if you can't stand the heat, you got to get out of the kitchen, man. You know, because it's a man's space. So we're not gonna sugarcoat it, you know, for the sake of, you know, bringing women in. I like the women that want to hear it and listen. Gail have heard us be real, but Gail don't retreat. She listens and she keep it moving. If it doesn't apply to you, you know, keep it moving. That's what I look at it, man. Mm-hmm. So listen, guys, This has been a powerful show. Thank you, Red Pill Awareness. Please share the content, guys. Listen, guys, I need you guys to share this content. I ain't got a cash out yet, man. I'm gonna rebuke the devil. I'm gonna rebuke the devil, man.
Don't worry about it.
But I love you guys, man. I love the show. I love the content. Eric always brings great clarity and insight. Look, young Crab over there, he always brings young Crab is always passionate. And Red Pill Awareness, thank you, brother. I'll send you in the spaces on a couple of channels, man. And Roger, thank you for joining in. And you know, so guys, we're about to sign off. It's about 40 minutes after the hour of 11 o'clock. Sooner or later, y'all hear my booming voice on this nice mic. You know, 7 Small will be spitting that hot fire on this mic. And so once I figure this thing out, you know, I'm gonna be like Chris in there and cut chili. But I don't have a mic right now. I got a dusty mic, actually. But you're gonna hear it live. You know, bring it to you live from the greatest state in the union real soon. So Eric, when you be talking junk, about you can't sing, you're gonna hear that nice velvet voice soon, bro. So
okay.
Very white on him. Very white on him.
Yeah.
Hey, look at E. Look at E. You're gonna hear that nice velvet voice soon. Okay. But once again, guys, we're about to sign off. And Frederick Douglass said it better than me. He said that power never conceded without a struggle. It never have and it never will. And we saw a live schema affliction on this show tonight. And unfortunately, going to be a lot more schema afflictions coming up because, as Chris Strongheart said earlier, winter is coming. And just like women don't believe that the fat meat is greasy, a lot of men don't believe that the fat meat is greasy as well as it relates to dating and relationships. So remember this, guys, there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And this show was very important because it focused on female psychology as it relates to men simping abroad. Remember this, right. Women are more or less the same universally as it relates to being a woman. They want protection, provision, and maintenance. Right. But if you give your power away, they'll use you as well. Now listen to this. I want you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, guess what, Chris and Eric? It ain't right. I don't know.